body is to everyone the measure of the possessions proper for it, just as the foot is of the shoe. If, therefore, you stop at this, you will keep the measure, but if you move beyond it, you must necessarily be carried forward as down a cliff, as in the case of a shoe. If you go beyond its fitness to the foot, it comes first to be gilded, then purple, and then stuck.
Why should people join us on June 13th?
Because the game's changed. There are a bunch of things happening right now.
Eternal Companion, help us pour out our hearts to you, honestly and sincerely. These prayers as our guide help us feel close to you, dear God. Life makes warriors of us all. To emerge the victors, we must arm ourselves with the most potent of weapons. That weapon is prayer. Actions, no place too far. First tell me this, is there some secluded spot in the vicinity where I can go to pray? Congressman asked. He had just arrived in Breslov, the town whose name the Breslov movement has borne ever since. I know the place that would be most suitable, the Hasid replied, but it's quite far from here. Far, the Rebbe exclaimed. What do you mean by far? Far from the mind or from the heart? But Nachman later taught, when your heart yearns, distance is no obstacle. In praise, my God, I work and I strive, never knowing if I will succeed. You and only you can give hope to my dreams. With your help I am spared wasted efforts. With your blessing all hardship I endure can bear fruit. You and only you are the key to success in all that I do. Courage to grow, Almighty God, source of all the energy of life. Without you I am helpless. Give me the courage, the physical drive, the emotional energy, and the spiritual will to risk in order to grow, to welcome every challenge as my life unfolds. Full life. O life of the world, grant me a full life, a life which may be considered long because it has been filled with right living, and considered rich because it has been filled with holy act.
Okay, so Ishmael, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but this is these are the prayers of Reb Nachman of Breslov. I recorded this in Redondo Beach, California, many years ago in this shitty, horrible fucking room that I was renting. Not even its own apartment, a fucking room. This video has 1,000 views, and I uploaded it 7 years ago. So I was living in Los Angeles at the time next to some heroin addict who was puking every day because he was a heroin addict. This is the prayers of Reb Nachman of Breslov.
Making ends meet.
Oops, I clicked an advertisement.
Source of all sustenance sustain me. Nowadays, I even living simply, working only to acquire life's most basic necessities, demands so much. In the black, help me see my way out of this monstrous tangle of debts. The inevitable outlay for my children's needs, those overwhelming expenses and bills, those inescapable medical expenditures, but most of all, dear God, help me keep my account with you in the black. Body and soul, Holy One, grant me the strength to cast off the spiritual sluggishness and indifference which encumber my body. Let my body, together with my soul, soar ever closer to you. Teaching by being, dear God, teach me to embody those ideals I would want my children to learn from me. Let me communicate with my children wisely in ways that will draw their hearts to kindness, to decency, and to true wisdom, dear God. Let me pass on to my children only the good. Let them find in me the values and the behavior I hope to see in them. Wholeness and well-being, God of wholeness, God of healing. Envelop us with wholeness and well-being. Heal us in body and soul. Let all the elements of our bodies work together in perfect symmetry and in peaceful harmony. Remove every trace of illness, every hint of infirmity. Send the healing which you alone can bring. Sincerity, O you who are infinitely deep, yet also profoundly simple. Help me walk this simple path. Free me from any facade of sophistication, which will only hinder my endless quest to come closer to you. Help me live my life with faith, with sincerity, and with perfect simplicity. Giving, my God, help me become a giver. Help me give and go on giving. You've called on us to be charitable. Show me how. Show me how to give with a pure heart, with an open heart, with a heart filled with joy. Lead me to those who are truly deserving, for giving is so holy an act. Help me find the truly needy and help them find me. True nourishment, dear God, teach me to eat right and to eat for the right reasons. Keep me from eating the wrong foods and from eating more than I should. Let all that I eat nourish me, never weaken or harm me. Let the food I ingest create a perfect balance within me, in my body, mind, and soul. Gaining perspective. Dear God, I need your guidance. Bring perspective to my life. For the meaningless allures of this world control me. Let me see beyond the coarse requirements of my daily subsistence. Let me bask in that which is truly precious, in the beauty of my relationship with you, dear God. Working to live, though I have no choice but to work to support myself and those who depend on me. Let my job never dominate my life and psyche. Let me never be so caught up in the pursuit of my livelihood that I stoop to dishonesty in order to get ahead. Let me make no transaction without recognizing that any measure of success I might find, I can come only from you. Oh God, see my pain, see the constant tension and anxiety with which I must function, with which I don't function. Touch my life with your love and your strength. With your wisdom I have more than I can bear alone. Troubles, kind, loving, mighty God, stretch out your hand to strengthen me. Lift me up from my abyss, right my wrongs, turn my every failure into success. Look upon all my troubles and say enough. Priorities, oh God, help me fix within my mind the enduring truths of life. Let my every action be directed towards life's ultimate goals. For how can I face you, my Creator, without having invested all my days in preparation for that moment when I will meet you? How can I face you, source of my life, so long as I remain naked and barren, mired in the fantasies that form the substance of life's illusions? Living to the fullest, dear God, as I age, as hours turn to days. Days to weeks and weeks to months and months to years. Let none of my time be wasted or lost. Let me use my life to the fullest to become the person I am meant to be. In thanks, dear God, all the good I can do in this world will never match all the good you've done for me. All my acts of kindness will never equal all the kindness you've shown me. Even all the gratitude I can muster will never suffice to express my appreciation and thanks to you, my God. Words, Reb Nachman's mantra. I want to pray, to tell God everything I'm going through, and to ask for help. Chassid explained to Reb Nachman. When I'm finally alone and try to pray, the words don't come. Then Rebbe assured him, even just calling out to God, Ribbono Shel Olam, again and again is extremely beneficial. Once when informed that someone was able to recite 1,000 pages of Talmud, Reb Noah's son responded, yes, that is impressive, yet there are those of the Rebbe's followers who can repeat the phrase Ribbono Shel Olam 1,000 times. And praise, Master of the universe, you listen to the anguished cries and desperate walls of every one of your beloved children. You hear my incoherent cries. You comprehend my jumbled words. I try my best to reach you with my inadequate prayers. I call out to you, and you understand. Prayer, God of life, help me pray with all the force I can muster. If only I could invest all my energy into each word, even into every letter of my prayers. I know that it would give me renewed strength, renewed spirit. Prayer to the Almighty is my life, says the psalmist. Please help me pray. Crying out to God, oh, how I want to cry out to you, God of strength, to cry undistracted. And with a pure heart, help me pray with all my strength to raise my voice in resounding supplication until my own prayers strike my mind like thunderclaps and refine the innermost recesses of my heart. true word, O dear God. For once, let me call out to you with one true prayer. Let me think one pure thought, cry one genuine cry, pray one absolutely sincere prayer to you, dear God. Prayer for healing, God of wholeness, God of healing. Hear our words, accept our prayers, send a special blessing of healing to my son or my daughter, or my mother or my father, among all those of your children who are in need of your healing blessing. Openness, dear God, I want to open myself to you wholly, perfectly, and sincerely. I want to tell you about my doubts, my certainties, my weaknesses, my strengths, my failures, my successes. Breaking down the barriers, God. I want to break down every barrier that separates me from you. I want to lay out before you the parts of myself I'd love, and the parts I despise, the parts of myself that are healthy, and the parts that need healing, the parts I feel secure enough to speak of, and the insecurities I haven't the courage to share. Crying and sighing, the years have brought more pain than ever I imagined possible. When I cry, loving God, let me cry only to you. When I sigh, let that sigh be a pure, honest expression of a soul yearning for your light. Crying and sighing, let my cries and sighs heal me and restore me and bring me to joy. Let me never again succumb to bitterness or depressing thoughts. God, show me life's meaning. Effective words, God of wisdom, teach me the right words. Teach me the very words that will touch the hearts and souls of others. When a friend needs my understanding ear, teach me the words to say that will strengthen, that will encourage, that will express only my love and concern. Effective silence, God of wisdom, teach me to relate to others with words they need to hear, with words that will never misguide. Teach me, dear God, that often the most effective words are no words at all. Teach me how and when to communicate with that most potent gift of silence. Sensitive speech, God of understanding, guide me, for my own words sometimes baffle me. When I relate to those around me insensitively, when I hurt, embarrass, or insult them, when I speak with a callousness that causes pain, when I lose myself in my own ego, God, pull me back to reality. Help others understand that I too am in pain, and let them be forgiving. Harmful words, oh God, help me avoid every abusive speech. Let no untrue word escape my lips. I pray that I never speak badly of others or speak empty words of flattery. Help me stay away from profanity. Teach me, dear God, when to keep silent and when to speak. And when I speak, oh God, you save me from using your wonderful gift of speech to humiliate or hurt anyone. Lies, ruler of the world, grant me truth. Spare me for the lies of others. Help me stop myself from lying to others. Save me from lying to myself and spare me from the lies of my own illusions. Oh God, never let me live a lie, even for only a moment. Holy sounds, oh God, your creation resonates with holy sounds. Let me hear them all. Let them penetrate my heart and rouse my senses. The jangle of a charity box, the voice of a faithful teacher, even the intonation of my own sigh when I cry out to you, all these sounds are holy. Oh God, let my heart hear them and all be uplifted. In thanks, God, ever my only support. You taught me to pray, to sigh, to cry, to awaken true, meaningful words from deep within, words that strengthen, words that ease my pain and heal my wounds, words that dispel darkness. Thank you, God, for opening my lips, and for teaching me to seek you through prayer. Feelings. Praying for what you need, Reb Nachman taught. When it comes to praying for what you need, there is nothing too insignificant to ask of God. Reb Nosson once happened to mention to Reb Nachman some minor convenience that he was lacking, then asked God to give it to you. The Reb advised him. I was completely astounded, Reb Nosson relates. I would never have considered turning to God for something so trivial, which in any case I could have managed without. Noting my surprise, the Reb added, "Tell me, is it beneath your dignity to pray for something so minor? No matter what you need, the best thing you can do is pray for it. And praise, dear God of compassion. Your mercies are with me always, every moment of my life. With each breath I take, only you can love me so completely, so unconditionally, so profoundly. If people care for me, it is only because you care for me. If any of my words find their way into the hearts of others, it is nothing more than a reflection of your all-encompassing presence in my life.
You don't really have to shower after you pee as long as you clean yourself thoroughly.
Compassion-loving God, you who are full of compassion, teach me to be like you. Teach me to be kind and generous and loving, just as you are kind and generous and loving to all your creations. Please help me develop true sensitivity and genuine compassion toward everything in creation. Joy, God, I stand between and battered by the countless manifestations of my own inadequacies. Yet we must live with joy, overcome despair, seek, pursue, and find every inkling of goodness, every positive point within ourselves, and so discover true joy. Aid me in this quest, O God. Help me find satisfaction and a deep, abiding pleasure in all that I have, in all that I do, in all that I am. Positive attitude. Merciful God, let me experience your mercy. Save me from pessimism, from bitterness, and from cynicism. Help me overcome my negative feelings. Help me avoid every form of arrogance, every hint of greed. Loving protection. Loving God, protect me with your love. Prevent others from viewing me with hostility. Never allow the negativity of others to influence my life or affect my destiny. Seeing the good, oh good, it is always so simple to find the evil, the ugly, the bad. Help me learn to discount all that is negative in the other. Show me the goodness, the beauty, the kindness in everyone I meet. Power of love. Teach me to search for the fine qualities in others, to recognize their immeasurable worth. Teach me to cultivate a love for all your children. No one is without redeeming value. Let the good in me connect with the good in others until all the world is transformed through the compelling power of love.
Wow.
Soulmate, O loving God, so many in your world live without true love. So many cannot find their soulmate. Have mercy on them, O source of all love. Let every lonely and incomplete soul know the wholeness of being that comes when one finds one's true love. Living in love, God of mercy, God of love, it is sometimes difficult, so painfully difficult to sustain a harmonious home life, to maintain a marriage based on true friendship and love. Let never a hint of argument, frustration, or suspicion cloud our relationship. We needed an extra measure of compassion to understand and to care for one another with genuine sensitivity and with open acceptance. Let abundant peace fill our home. Peace, God, help me learn to cherish peace, to pursue peace, to promote peace. Save me from the need to be always right, to lead only to tension and strife. Oneness, God, help me forge the oneness between myself and others, between myself and my spouse, between myself and my children. Help me forge a oneness of the many selves within me. Help me become one with you. Learning to wait, God of patience, teach me patience. Help me learn to wait for the good that is just around the corner, for the assistance that will soon be within my reach, for the relief that is just a moment away. In a calm, patient God, teach me to be patient, unruffled by those who anger, tolerant of those who exasperate, accepting of those who disappoint. Help me remain serene in the face of derision, calm in the face of provocation, composed in the midst of a storm. And God, teach me to be patient with myself. Forgiving God, you alone know how urgently I need to learn to forgive. Help me douse all the anger that burns within me. Free me of resentment against those who have wronged me. Help me abandon all the animosity, all the hostility that clogs my heart. Help me turn my anger into love and my enmity into compassion. God, I never want to become angry. Protect me from my own passions. Don't let me lose myself to small-mindedness. Resentment of others guard me from turning my temper against anything or anyone, even and especially against myself. A peaceful disposition, teach me, O God, to seek only peace. Save me from every form of argument, controversy, and quarrel. Liberate me from every type of misunderstanding and strife. Where there is no peace, there can be no joy, there can be no love, there can be no true presence of mind. Dear God, let me be mine to share. Contentment, dear God, save me from wanting what is not mine. Protect me from my own jealousy, from desiring the money or the possessions, the position or the honor that belong to another. Let me trust in you enough to believe that what is meant to be mine will come to me. Let me trust in you enough to be satisfied with all that I have today. Self-esteem, dear God, let me feel close to you. Grant me satisfaction with my life. Let me rejoice in that closeness, and let me turn with that satisfaction into a sense of self-worth, not one based in arrogance or in feelings of self-importance, but humble as self-esteem rooted in holiness. Arrogance, dear God, free me of false pride. Free me of the arrogance that accompanies an inflated self-image. Spare me from haughtiness, from the overloaded ego which stems from an empty self. Let me learn to feel good about myself. Let me never feel the need to belittle anyone in order to find value and worth, in order to feel valued and worthy. A haven of joy. Teach me the meaning of joy, dear God. Strong, deep, genuine, and pure joy. Don't let me succumb to feelings of sadness, loneliness, and depression. Teach me to turn to you with my every problem, frustration, anxiety, and pain. Accept my broken heart. Heal me and shelter me in a haven of joy. Clapping and dancing, dear God, stir my heart with a spirit of joy. Imbue my arms and my legs with that spirit. For my arms are encumbered and my legs have become heavy with my wrongdoings. Fill me, my God, with the cleansing spirit of holy joy. Enliven all my limbs. Help me raise my hands and clap. Help me lift my feet and dance, dance, dance. Overcoming loss, dear God, suddenly I'm alone, I'm in pain as I search for some source of comfort. The world so full, so bustling, seems so empty now. It's cold and it's frightening. In this hollow that is me, in this hollow that once brimmed with confidence and joy, God pulled me back to the world of the living, back to a life of action and human relationships. And thanks, loving, caring God, all that happens in fulfillment in my life come only from you. Knowing how absolute my dependence on you, I find peace of mind. Your presence suffuses my life, caressing me with hope, joy, and love. I've tasted your love, I've known your compassion, experienced your patience, and I am filled with gratefulness. Thoughts. An entirely new world. It is impossible to describe how wonderful it was in those early years, Reb Nachman said to the Hasid. They were strolling through the outskirts of the village where the Reb had spent the first years of his marriage worshipping, serving God in relative anonymity. With each step I took in these fields, praying and calling out to God, I experienced yet another taste of paradise. On another occasion, Rabbi Nachman described what it was like returning home after a day spent crying his heart out to God in the fields, our forest. Coming back, everything appeared different to me. The world seemed entirely new. In praise of God, I only begin to realize how very much you've done for me. I must now internalize the understanding that everything that happens to me, everything is an expression of your everlasting love, of your concern for my ultimate good. God, as I recognize all your goodness, as your kindness fills my thoughts, I sing your praise. Light of awareness. God, let me comprehend all that I see with the light of awareness. Let me understand whatever touches my life in a deep and intimate way, in a way that embraces both the adult and the child within me. Enveloped in faith, my God, you and only you know how strongly I want to believe in you, to put all my faith in you alone. Help me make this desire a reality. Help me perceive your presence and draw strength from it every moment of my life, through every trial I face. Let that recognition bolster my faith in you wherever I go, whatever I do. accepting God's justice. God, help me see. Help me understand all that I see in the light of your truth, in the light of your ultimate justice. When I see the success of the wicked, help me realize that it is but an illusion. Nothing authentic, nothing real. Real success, true good, absolute happiness are found only with you, the God of truth, and one day I will see it, experience it, and know it. Overcoming doubts, my vision is distorted. Loving God of truth, I want to see clearly, but my heart leads me through twisted, convoluted paths of misunderstood impressions. Straighten those paths so that I can strengthen myself in the conviction of my beliefs. Learning life's lessons. Dear God, let my heart grasp the profound wisdom with which you created the world. Help me understand that life's difficulties are in fact her opportunities. Life's endings are also her beginnings. Life's disappointments are her finest teachers. Learning life's lessons, dear God, let my heart grasp the profound wisdom with which you created me. Help me understand that my vulnerabilities in fact open me to growth. My limits draw me to new frontiers. My very failures teach me to succeed. Perceptions, body and soul, Holy One, grant me the wisdom to bring harmony to the alliance of my body and soul. Let them rise together in my devotion to you. My soul perceives your light. Let my body discern it too. My soul sounds your praise. Let my body sing it too. Focus prayer, oh dear God. I want to pray, but the distractions are never ending. Please help me overcome them. Help me be wholly focused for once. Help me pray only true, totally heartfelt words to you, dear God. Wise counsel, O God, how can I make my way through the confusion and uncertainty that cloud so much of what I do? Guide me to wise teachers and mentors, whose advice is pure and in tune with your will. Guide me to true friends whose counsel is caring and promotes my best interests. Guide me to clear, correct decisions, to conclusions that are sound and free of all doubt. Clarity and assurance, O God, grant me clarity and assurance in whatever I do. Teach me to trust in wise teachers, to learn from their insightful words, to teach me to trust in true friends, to treasure their care and concern. Teach me to trust in myself, to judge my own course correctly, and so to live with conviction and hope. Seeing light in darkness. God of unfathomable goodness, the history of human agony haunts my soul. Ashes, blood, and cries pierce my heart. Diabolic schemes of oppressors plague my mind. Grant me an extra measure of strength, understanding, and faith to help me find you, to discover your light amidst the blinding dread, through the revolting horror. Sorting through confusion, God of truth, help me sort through the dizzying confusion of my life. My mind swirls with all that I've seen and that I've read, all that's happened to me. Teach me to focus, to prioritize, to see with clarity, so that I can move on with my life. A humble spirit, dear God, guide me along the path of sincere humility. If I ever put on airs, stop me. Bless me with a humble spirit, with eyes that see only the good in people, with a mind always open to others' opinions, with a heart who's caring of their concerns. Teach me to humble myself even before the lowliest of your children, whose very brokenness brings them closer to you. Finding good. Oh, loving God, help me discover and uncover all that is good, all that is positive in the world. Camouflaged though they may be, let me find those elusive sparks of holy light. Let me perceive all the beauty and truth hidden within your creation. Finding good when I am confronted with baseness and evil. Let all the bad fall away before me. Let all the good and goodliness that lies hidden within everyone I meet shine forth and emerge as a grand reflection of beauty and light. Losing control. Oh, how much good I've lost in losing control of my anger. Such a large portion of my life. So much growth I've let slip from my hands by allowing my burning thoughts to get the better of me. God, teach me to let go. Maintaining perspective, oh God, please help me comprehend that life in this world is fleeting, hardly more than a fantasy. At this moment I am here, as are those around me, Where will I be? Where will they be? In an hour, in a day, in a year, or in 10? Help me hold in my mind an image of the world that awaits me, of the life eternal that will follow my stay in this place of momentary fascination and reverie. And thanks my God, it has taken me time, but I'm finally learning to trust you. When I called, you answered. When I cried, you sent relief. When I was in need, you came through. You are there for me in every instance. I need only look, think, and understand, and I can always find you. There you are, always ready to help. Thank you, God, for waiting for me. Will, wanting to wait in one of his most powerful statements, Rebbe Nachman unequivocally characterizes the facet of the human psyche which functions below the threshold of consciousness. The young man was bemoaning the difficulties he was encountering in his attempts to come closer to God. "But I really want to be a good Jew," he insisted to Rebbe Nachman. "But," said the Rebbe, "do you really want to want?" And praise God, you've given me the physical, emotional, and spiritual will to overcome so many obstacles that have risen before me. How many times have I faced what I perceived to be impossible, hopeless situations, and withstood them, and discovered creative solutions through which to surmount and master them. You strengthened me again and again. I know that you will never fail me. In God's will, merciful God, I know how very much you care for me. You've made me in accordance with your will. Why then don't I always want to be that which you've made me? Why do I so often fall short of all that you want me to be? In God's will, God, I want to be so many things, to do so much, to achieve so endlessly. But can anyone be everything, do everything, have everything? You alone understand the fragile balance of my soul. You've invested in me the potential to make of that balance a perfect creation. Now help me fashion myself into just such a creation, in accordance with your will. Overcoming negative traits, oh God, help me perfect every element of my humaneness. Help me overcome all my negative traits, all my evil motivations. Teach me to turn bad into good. Building good traits help me grow. Teach me to strive for a soul that is pure and flawless. Let my every characteristic be impervious to evil. Surely then I can hope that I, in my very humaneness, might merge with the holiness of your existence. Perfection of the soul, God, perfect soul, you created me destined for perfection. How far have I wandered from that destiny? How much of my purity have I squandered through careless, thoughtless, self-centered behavior wanting in morality and holiness? The soul's recovery. There must be a way I can regain decency and virtue. There must be a way I can recapture the purity and perfection of my soul. God, lead me there. Don't turn me away. Open your hands and welcome me back. The gift of free will, God of wonders, you've given me the most wonderful of all gifts, the gift of free will. May my will never deviate from your holy will. Guide me always so that all the choices I make are good ones, choices that are in harmony with your will as long as I live. A world of responsibility, architect of the world, author of her story, grant me the courage to participate in the world's design, to join in the unfolding of her story. I want to share in the responsibility of this world, to pray for her welfare, to care for her needs, to safeguard her treasures, to work for her rectification. Self-renewal, dear God, teach me to begin anew, to renew myself along with all the creation, just as you renew the entire world each day. Show me how I can break free of the constraints of my habits, the restraints of my insecurities, the shackles of my unwarranted fears. Fresh start, teach me, dear God, to make a fresh start, to break yesterday's patterns, to stop telling myself I can't where I can. I'm not when I am, I'm stuck when I'm eminently free. The way home, center of all existence, help me find the way to that sacred sanctuary within myself, to that precious center of my existence. Help me discover my place in the world, that space where I truly belong, that space which belongs unconditionally to me. Dear God, I've wandered for so very long. Help me find my way home. Healing my life, dear God, what a mess I've made of my life, a hopeless mess. How will I ever right all that I've wronged, restore all that I've ruined, fix all that I've destroyed? Only you can help me, dear God. If you don't help me, what hope is there? Help me and heal my life. Reaching for wholeness, compassionate God, healer of my body, healer of my soul, heal me, strengthen my ailing body, soothe my aching heart, mend my shattered existence, make me whole. Rejuvenation, master of the world, you know the bitterness of my anguished heart, of my painful wounds, of my afflicted soul. It is more than I can bear, I beg you. Soften and sweeten the bitterness. Give me strength and courage, for my remedy too must certainly be bitter. My rejuvenation will not come easily. Healer of all, heal me. Measure of eternity, eternal God, grant me a measure of eternity. Lend me some permanence to this temporal life of mine. Grant health, happiness, and long life to my children and to their children, and as long as they live, some part of myself will survive, something of me will live on in this world. Give me life, dear God, and life to those who come after me. Children, loving God, what is more precious than our children? Is there any treasure that can be more beloved, more pure than those cherished souls we have brought into the world? Help me guide them well, dear God, and help them accept my guidance. Help them lead their life with faith, wisdom, and truth. Letting go, dear God, help me grow old with dignity and wisdom. As the twilight years cast their shadow upon me. Help my mind remain clear, at peace with the world and with itself. Let me learn to let go of my bonds and with this world, of my need for honor and status, of my attraction to physical indulgences, of my envy of others, of my regrets over all that might have been. Ageless aging, teach me, God, to live out my days focused on all that is meaningful in life, as unaccountable aches and pains multiply, as memory and retention fade. Teach me to relate to my physical existence with an ever-expanding recognition of its transient nature. Teach me to relate to my soul with an ever-expanding awareness of her eternal nature and ageless worth. Approaching God, my soul thirsts for you. Oh God, will I ever deserve to feel you beside me? There are so many obstacles that keep me from being what I want to be, a good person, a God-conscious person, but only I myself can change this. Help me make the effort to come closer to you. Help me long and yearn and strive for your nearness. True to self, my God, teach me to be true to myself. Never let me be swayed by the approval or the disapproval of others. Help me learn to depend on no one but you, and to look nowhere but within, to come to know my true self, that person I really am. In tune with God, oh dear God, be with me and help me strive to come close, to be fully committed to you. Let every part of me, physical, emotional, and spiritual, join in focused determination to fulfill your will. May my thoughts, my emotions, my words, and all my actions be wholly in tune with you. And thanks, oh God, I can never thank you enough for leading me toward the path to wholeness and life. You've shown me how to make my desires akin to your will, the way to rectification and renewal, to deep solace and healing, to meaning and eternal tranquility, is only through actively seeking your will. Thank you, God, for leading me to that understanding.
I am Butch Loxton. I'm a Los Angeles-based artist who creates skull mask and performs in smoke. I'm inspired by
Lao Tzu's Tao teaching. The way that becomes a way is not the immortal way. The name that becomes a name is not the immortal name. No name is the maiden of heaven and earth. Name is the mother of all things. Thus in innocence we see the beginning, in passion we see the end. Two different names for one and the same. The one we call dark, the dark beyond dark, the door to all beginnings. Tu Wei says Tao originally meant moon. The I Ching stresses the bright moon, while Lao Tzu stresses the dark moon. Confucius says the Tao is what we can never leave. What we can leave isn't the Tao. How Shang Kung says, what we call a way is a moral or political code, which the immortal way takes care of, the spirit without effort. It brings peace to the world without struggle. It conceals its light and hides its tracks and can't be called a way. As for the immortal name, it's like a pearl inside an oyster, a piece of jade inside a rock, shiny on the inside, dull on the outside. Chiang Chu says sages don't reveal the way because they keep it secret, but because it can't be revealed. Thus their words are like footsteps that leave no tracks. Li Si Chai says things change, but not the Tao. The Tao is immortal. It arrives without moving and comes without being called. Xu Jie says the ways of kindness and justice change, but not the way of the Tao. No name is its body. Name is its function. Sages embody the Tao and use it in the world, but while entering the myriad states of being, they remain in non-being. Wang Pi says, from the infinitesimal, all things develop, but nothing, all things are born. From nothing, all things are born. When we are free of desire, we can see the infinitesimal where that things begin. When we are subject to desire, we can see where things end. Tu refers to maiden and mother. Xiao Chao Chung says two refers to innocence and passion, or in other words, stillness and movement. Stillness corresponds to none.
Those aren't the brilliant ones, but the ones that are rolling it up. They're not. The elites are not, Lord.
I'm not talking about the elite. I'm talking about the people they hire.
The worker
The
bees.
majority of them, average intelligence.
The worker bees.
Vast majority. Nope, not worker bees.
Lobbyists.
Not them either.
Who?
The scientists you're touting as so-called smart and all this other stuff.
No.
So-
Who? Who?
The problem-
Who? Who? Who?
Existence. Movement corresponds to existence. Provisionally different, they are ultimately the same, both light and darkness. The Shu Wen says, Swan dark means black with a dot of red in it. This is how the darker half of the yin and yang symbol was traditionally represented in Shanxi province, where the Tao Ching was first written. Doors were until recently painted black with a thin line of red trim, and every road begins with a door. Te Ching says Lao Tzu's philosophy is all here. The remaining 5,000 words only expand on this first verse. During Lao Tzu's day, philosophers were concerned with the correspondence or lack of it between name and reality. The things we distinguish as real change while their names do not. How then can reality be known through names? In lines 2 and 4, I've used the Ma Wan Dui, Hang Immortal, over the standard Chiang Eternal, which was introduced to avoid an emperor's personal name. Hang also means crescent moon, a not accidental usage in light of Lao Tzu's emphasis on lunar images when talking about the Tao. Arriving 1070 AD, Sukuma Kuang and Wang Anshi punctuated lines 5 through 8 in a way that made their subject Wu non-being and Yu being. Non-being is the name, the maiden of heaven and earth. Being is the name of the mother of all things, and so on. However, the grammatical particles in the Ma Wang Dui texts make such a reading impossible. In line 5, shit normally means beginning, but China's earliest dictionary, the Xuan, says she means a virgin. Ma Sun Lun suggests she in this case might also be a loan word for the nearly identical ti, while ti normally means fetus. The Xuan says it means a woman in her 3rd month of pregnancy. Note too that a woman did not receive her public name until after marriage. In lines 7 and 13, most editions have Miao, mysterious, but according to P. Yuan, in ancient times there was no Miao, mysterious, only Miao, small beginning, which is what we find in the Mo Wang Wai text. This verse is not present in the quotient texts. All the world knows beauty, but if that becomes beautiful, this becomes ugly. All the world knows good, but if that becomes good, this becomes bad. Have and have not create each other. Hard and easy produce each other, long and short shape each other, high and low complete each other, note and noise accompany each other, first and last follow each other. Sages therefore perform effortless deeds and teach wordless lessons. They don't look after all the things that arise or depend on them as they develop or claim them when they reach perfection, and because they don't claim them, they are never without them. Lu Sheng says, what we call beautiful or ugly depends on our feelings. Nothing is necessarily beautiful or ugly until feelings make it so, but while feelings differ, they all come from our nature, and we all have the same nature. Hence sages transform their feelings and return to their nature, and thus become one again. Wu Qiang says the existence of things, the difficulty of affairs, the size of forms, the magnitude of power, the pitch and clarity of sound, the sequence of position, and all involve contrasting pairs. When one is present, both are present. When one is absent, both are absent. Lu Huaichang says, these 6 pairs all depend on time and occasion. None of them is eternal. Sages, however, act according to the immortal Tao. Hence, they act without effort, and because they teach according to the immortal name, they teach without words. Beautiful and ugly, good and bad don't enter their minds. Wang Wu Chu says, sages are not interested in deeds or words. They simply follow the natural pattern of things. Things rise, develop, and reach perfection. This is their order. Wang Anshi says, sages create but do not possess what they create. They act but do not depend on what they do. They succeed but do not claim success. They all result from selflessness. Because sages are selfless, they do not lose themselves. Because they do not lose themselves, they do not lose others. Su Chai says, losing something is the result of possessing something. How can people lose what they don't possess? Li Si Chai says Lao Tzu's 5,000-word text clarifies that what is mysterious as well as what is obvious. It can be used to attain the Tao, to order a country, or to cultivate the body. Ho Sheng Kung titles this verse Cultivating the Body. Song Chang Sing says those who practice the way put an end to distinctions, get rid of name and form, and make of themselves a home for the way and virtue. I have used the wording of the Mawang Twai and quotient texts for lines 7 through 12, but have omitted the Mawang Twai insertion of hang is endless to line 12. In line 15, I have followed the quotient wording look after in place of the usual she begin. Between lines 15 and 16, neither the Mawang Twai nor quotient copies include line sheng puyi or progress or possess what they beget, which appears in the Wang Pi and Fu Yi editions, and which was apparently interpolated from a similar sequence that appears in verse 51. The last 2 lines also appear in verse 77. Bestowing no honors, keep people from fighting, prizing no treasures, keep people from stealing, displaying no attractions, keep people from making trouble. Thus the rule of the sage empties the mind but fills the stomach, weakens the will but strengthens the bones, by keeping the people from knowing or wanting, and those who know from daring to act. The sage governs them all. Su Chai says, bestowing honors embarrasses those who don't receive them to the point where they fight for them. Prizing treasures pains those who don't possess them to the point where they steal them. Displaying attractions distresses those who don't enjoy them to the point where they cause trouble. If people aren't shown these things, they won't know what to want and will cease wanting. Wang Chen says sages empty the mind of reasoning and delusion. They fill the stomach with loyalty and honesty. They weaken the will with humility and compliance. And they strengthen the bones with what people already have within themselves. Wang Pai says bones don't know how to make trouble. It's the will that creates disorder. When the mind is empty, the will is weak. Wang Piang says an empty mind means no distinctions. A full stomach means no desires. A weak will means no external plans. Strong bones means standing on one's own and remaining unmoved by outside forces. By bestowing no honors, sages keep people from knowing. Prizing no treasures, they keep people from wanting. Lunyang Shi says the mind knows and chooses while the stomach doesn't know but simply contains. The will wants and moves, but bones don't want, but simply stand there. Sages empty what knows and fill what doesn't know. They weaken at what wants and strengthen what doesn't want. Jensen says they empty the mind and calm the breath. They concentrate their essence and strengthen the spirit. Huang Yuanqi says sages purify their ears and eyes, put an end to dispassion and selfishness, embrace the one and empty the mind. An empty mind forms the basis for transmuting cinnabar by enabling us to use our yang breath to transform our yin essence. A full stomach represents our final form, in which our yang breath gradually and completely replaces our yin essence. Wei Yuan says the reason the world is in order is because of action. Action comes from desire, and desire comes from knowledge. Sages don't talk about things that can be known or display things that can be desired. This is how they bring order to the world. Li Qing says this verse describes how sages cultivate themselves in order to transform others. The Tao is so empty, those who use it never become full again, and so deep as if it were the ancestor of us all. It dulls our edges, unties our tangles, softens our light, and merges our dust. It's so clear as if it were present. I wonder whose child it is. It seems it was here before tea. Wang Anshi says the Tao possesses form and function. Its form is the original breath that doesn't move. Its function is the empty breath that alternates between heaven and earth. Empty means empty like a bowl. The Tao is essentially empty. The people who use it should be empty too. To be full is contrary to the Tao. Deep means what cannot be measured. Ancestor means one who unites a lineage, just as the Tao unites all things, as if suggests a reluctance to compare. The ancient masters of the way had no ambition, hence they dulled their edges and did not insist on anything. They had no fear. Hence, they untied every tangle and avoided nothing. They did not care about beauty. Hence, they softened their light and forgot about themselves. They did not hate ugliness. Hence, they merged with the dust and did not abandon others. By taking advantage of edges, we create conflicts with others. By shining bright lights, we illuminate their dust. Grinding down edges makes conflicts disappear. Dimming the light merges dust and with darkness. Person who can adjust their light to that of the crowd and merge with the dust of the world is like a magic mushroom among ordinary plants. You can't see it, but it makes everything smell better. The Tao is invisible, hence Lao Tzu calls it clear. The Shuwan says Chan clear means unseen. Lu Neng Shi says clear describes what is deep, what seems to be present and yet not present, what seems to be not present and yet not present. Liao Chang says, if it's empty, it's a deep. If it's deep, it's clear. The Tao comes from nothing, hence the Tao is the child of nothing. Li says, Tai is the Lord of creation. All of creation comes from after Tai, except the Tao, which comes before it. But the nature of the Tao is to yield, hence Lao Tzu does not insist it came before, thus he says it seems. Jen Chiya says, in ancient times no one denied the existence of Tai and no one called his supremacy into doubt. Lao Tzu, however, says the Tao is the ancestor of us all, which presumably included Tai as well. Heaven and earth are heartless, treating creatures like straw dogs. Sages are heartless too. They treat people like straw dogs. Between heaven and earth, howl like a bellows, empty but inexhaustible. Each stroke produces more, talking only wasted. Better to protect what's inside. Hushi says Lao Tzu's statement that heaven and earth are heartless undercuts the ancient belief that heaven and humankind were of the same lineage and thereby created the basis for natural philosophy. Sucha says, heaven and earth aren't partial. They don't kill living things out of cruelty or give them birth of kindness. We do the same when we make straw dogs to use in sacrifices. We dress them up and put them on the altar, but not because we love them. When the ceremony is over, we throw them into the street, but not because we hate them. This is how sages treat the people. Huai Nansa says, when we make straw dogs or clay dragons, we paint them yellow and blue, decorate them with brocade, and tie red ribbons around them. The shaman puts on his black robe, and the Lord puts on his ceremonial hat to usher them in and to see them off. But once they've been used, they are nothing but clay and straw. Wu Cheng says straw dogs were used in praying for rain, and these particular bellows were used in metallurgy. Wang Piang says a bellows is empty so that it can respond. Something moves and it responds. It responds but retains nothing, like heaven and earth in regard to the 10,000 things or sages in regard to the people. It responds with what fits. It isn't tied to the present or attached to the past. The Tao has no substance or dimension, yet it works the breath of emptiness between heaven and earth and gives birth to the 10,000 things. The Tao cannot be talked about, yet we dismiss it as heartless. It cannot be named, yet we liken it to a bellows. Those who understand get the meaning and forget the words. Those who don't understand fail to see the truth and chatter away in vain. When the main path has many side trails, sheep lose their way. When hearing leads in many directions, students waste their lives in study. Whenever the mouth opens and the tongue moves, disaster is close behind. Better to guard your inner virtue, nurture your vital essence, protect your spirit, treasure your breath, and avoid talking too much. Sung Cheng Sing says, if our mouth doesn't talk too much, spirit stays in our heart. If our ears don't hear too much, our essence stays in our genitals. In the course of time, essence becomes breath. Breath becomes spirit, and spirit returns to emptiness.
Hey, knowledge, you know why they do that? It has to do with them
The
having...
valley spirit that doesn't die, we call the dark womb. The dark womb's mouth, we call the source of heaven and earth. As elusive as gossamer silk, and yet it can't be exhausted. The Shan Hai Ching says the valley spirit of the morning light is a black and yellow, 8-footed, 8-tailed, 8-headed animal with a human face. The Shan Hai Ching's valley spirit is the moon, which runs ahead of the sun during the last 8 days of its 30-day cycle, lags behind during the first 8 days, and faces the sun during its 8 days of glory. For the remaining days of the month, it's too close to the sun to be visible. Like many other cultures, this ancient Chinese viewed the moon as the embodiment of the female element of creation. Wang Pai says, the valley is what is in the middle, what contains nothing, no form, no shadow, no obstruction. It occupies the lowest point, remains motionless, and does not decay. All things depend on it for their development. But no one sees its shape. Yen Fu says, because it is empty, we call it a valley. Because there is no limit to its responsiveness, we call it a spirit. Because it is inexhaustible, we say it doesn't die. These three are the virtues of the Tao. Su Chai says, a valley is empty but has form. A valley spirit is empty but has no form. What is empty and has no form is not alive, so how can it die? Valley spirit refers to its virtue, dark womb refers to its capacity. This womb gives birth to the 10,000 things, and we call it dark because we see it give birth, but not how it gives birth. Swai Huai says the words Lao Tzu chooses are often determined by the demands of rhyme and should not be restricted to their primary meaning. Thus, Pian, female animal, can also be read Pian womb. The valley is what nourishes. Those able to nourish their spirit do not die. Spirit means the spirits of the 5 organs, the gallbladder, the heart, the kidneys, and the spleen. When these 5 are injured, the 5 spirits leave. Dark refers to heaven. In a person, this means the nose, which links us with heaven. Womb refers to earth. In a person, this means the mouth, which links us with earth. The breath passes through our nose and mouth should be finer than gossamer silk and barely noticeable, as if it were actually present. It should be relaxed and never strained or exhausted. The empty valley is where spirits dwell, where breath isn't exhausted. Who relaxes their breath increases their vitality. Who strains their breath soon expires. Tai Cheng says that purposeful action leads to exhaustion, that Tao is empty and acts without purpose, hence it can't be exhausted. Sung Cheng Sing says the valley spirit, the dark womb, the source of heaven and earth, all act without acting. That we don't see them doesn't mean they don't exist. Li Chung says it's like the silk of a silkworm or the web of a spider, hard to distinguish and hard to grab. But then it isn't humankind who uses it, only the spirit can use it. Tu Tao Qian says this verse also appears in Lai Tzu, where it is attributed to the Yellow Emperor instead of Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu frequently incorporates passages from ancient texts. We see their traces in thus the sage proclaims, or hence the ancients say. Thus Confucius said, I don't create, I only relate. Lia Tzu says, what creates life is not itself alive. Heaven is eternal and earth is immortal. The reason they are eternal and immortal is because they don't live for themselves. Hence they can live forever. Sages therefore pull themselves back and end up in front, put themselves outside and end up safe. It is not because of their selflessness. Whatever they seek, they find. Chu Chen Chess says the line heaven is eternal and earth is immortal. What apparently an old saying which Lao Tzu quotes in order to explain its significance. Cheng Tzu says heaven refers to the point between the eyebrows. Earth refers to the point just below the navel. Le Ching says heaven stands for the movement of time. Earth represents the transformation of form. Heaven and earth have their origin in the dark womb, and the essence of the dark womb is the valley spirit that doesn't die. Because it doesn't die. It isn't born. Only what isn't born can give birth to the living, and because it doesn't give birth to itself, it can live forever. Cao Tao Chung says what is not alive is the basis for life. By equating life and death, we are no longer burdened by life and death. By abandoning bodily form, we are no longer hindered by bodily form. Wu Cheng says to pull oneself back means to be humble and not to try to be in front of others. To put oneself outside means to be content and not to try to add to one's life to find what one seeks, means to be in front and safe. Sung Cheng Sing says, heaven and earth help creatures fulfill their needs by not having any needs of their own, and sages do otherwise. By following the way of heaven and earth, sages are revered by all and harmed by none, hence they too live long. Zhen Fazhong says sages do not purposely seek long life, but achieve it through selflessness. Cheng Tzu says heaven and earth and humankind share the same origin. Why doesn't humankind share their immortality? Because heaven and earth are not aware they are heaven and earth. Only humankind is self-aware. And being self-aware, there is nothing humans won't do to stay alive. But the more they care for their life, the more pain their life becomes, the more they nourish the body, the sicker they becomes. People who have not thought this out say the followers of Lao Tzu are afraid of death and only interested in immortality, but this is getting it backward. Ho Sheng Kung says the reason heaven and earth alone are eternal and immortal is because they are content and give without expecting a reward, unlike humankind who never stops chasing profit and fighting over possessions. Wangpi says those who live for themselves fight with others. Those who don't live for themselves are the refuge of others. Suche says if heaven and earth fought with others over life, they would be the same as others. And if sages fought with others over profit, they would be the same as them. What? Would that not be a great shame? Wang Piang says, although sages are sages, they look the same as others. But because they embody the way of heaven and don't fight, they alone differ from everyone else. Sages are selfless because they no longer have a self. Lu Tongpin says the only thing sages seek is virtue. The best are like water, bringing help to all, without competing. Choosing what others avoid, they thus approach the Tao, dwelling with earth, thinking with depth, helping with kindness, speaking with honesty, governing with peace, working with skill, and moving with time, and because they don't compete, they aren't maligned. Wu Cheng says, among those who follow the Tao, the best are like water, content to be lower and thus free of blame. Most people hate being lower and compete to be higher, but when people compete, someone is maligned. Li Hongfu says, how do we know the best don't compete? Everyone else chooses nobility. They alone choose humility. Everyone else chooses the pure. They alone choose the base. What they choose is what everyone else hates. Who is going to compete with them? Guanzi says, water is the source of creation, the ancestor of all living things. It's the bloodstream of earth. Huang Yuan just says, Mencius says, people cannot live without water and fire. In terms of cultivation, when fire warms water, pure yang arises. When water cools fire, sweet dew appears. Wang Ping says, water is the chief of the 5 elements. It comes from space which is not that far from the Tao. Wang Bai says the Tao does not exist, but water does, hence it only approaches the Tao. Ho Sheng Kong says the best people have a nature like that of water. They're like mist or dew in the sky, like a stream or a spring on land. Most people hate moist or muddy places, places where water alone dwells. The nature of water is like the Tao, empty, clear, and deep. As water empties, it gives life to others. It reflects without becoming impure. If there is nothing it cannot wash clean, water can take any shape. It is never out of touch with the seasons. How could anyone malign something with such qualities as this? Sung Cheng Sing says, those who free themselves from care stay low and avoid heights. Those whose minds are empty can plumb the depths. Those who help others without expecting any reward are truly kind. Those whose mouths agree with their minds speak the truth. Those who make demands of themselves as well as others establish peace. Those who can change as conditions change work with skill. Those who act when it is time to act and rest when it is time to rest move with time. Li Zhong says water has no purpose of its own. Those who can remain empty and not compete with others follow the natural way. Yan Sun says, if a ruler embodies this and uses this in his government, his virtue is most wonderful. How could he be maligned? Han Fai says, if a drowning man drinks it, he dies. If a thirsty man drinks it, he lives. Given Lao Tzu's usual disdain for social virtue, some commentators have trouble accepting the standard reading of Jen, kindness, in line 8. For those in search of an alternative, the Fu Yi and Qinglong editions have Jen, others, while Ma Wang Tuai had Tian, heaven, and Ma Wang Tuai A compresses lines 8 and 9, helping with honesty. This is not present in the quotient text, yet it remains one of the Tao Cheng's most quoted verses. Alright, we'll end it there. The next recording will start on chapter 9, page 18 of Lao Tzu's Tao Cheng, translated by Red Pine with selected commentaries from the past 2,000 years. Instead of pouring in more, better stop where you can. Making it sharper won't help it last longer. Rooms full of treasure can never be safe. The vanity of success invites its own failure. When your work is done, retire. This is the way of heaven. The Hu Anshu says what Lao Tzu warns against is pouring in more. Sun Tzu says, in the ancestral hall of Duquan, Confucius reports watching an attendant pour water into a container that hung at an angle. As the water level approached the midpoint, the container became upright, but when the attendant went beyond the midpoint, it tipped over. The water poured out, and only after it was empty did it resume its former position. Seeing this, Confucius sighed, alas, whatever becomes full becomes empty. Lu Tiangpian says this verse is about the basics of cultivation. These are the obstacles when you first enter the gate. Li Shi Li says, since fullness always leads to emptiness, avoid satisfaction. Since sharpness always leads to dullness, avoid zeal. Since gold and jade always lead to worry, avoid greed. Since wealth and honor encourage excess, avoid pride. Since success and fame bring danger, know when to stop and where lies the mean. You don't have to live in the mountains and forests to cut yourself off from human affairs to enter the way. Success and fame, wealth and honor are all encouragements to practice. Jensen says to succeed without being vain is easy to say, but hard to practice. When success is combined with pride, it's like watching it's like lighting a torch. The brighter it burns, the quicker it burns out. Wang Cheng says to retire doesn't mean to abdicate your position. Rather, when your task is done, treat it as though it were nothing. Suma Chen says, when Confucius asked about the ceremonies of the ancients, Lao Tzu said, I have heard that the clever merchant hides his wealth so his store looks empty, and that the superior man acts dumb to avoid calling attention to himself. I advise you to get rid of your excessive pride and ambition. They won't do you any good. This is all I have to say to you. Ho Shang Kung says, excessive wealth and desire wearies and harms the spirit. The rich should help the poor, and the powerful should aid the oppressed. If instead they flaunt their riches and power, they are sure to suffer disaster. Once the sun reaches the zenith, it descends. Once the moon becomes full, it wanes. Creatures flourish, then wither. Joy turns to sorrow when your work is done. If you do not step down, you will meet with harm. This is the way of heaven. Huang Guanqi says you need a raft to cross a river. But once across, you can forget the raft. You need to study rules to learn how to do something. But once you know how, you can forget the rules. This recipe for long life has been repeated in every civilized culture, and yet it has forever fallen on deaf ears. In the first line, the quotient text has, in place of the standard jie, hold. Both Hmong Tuai texts have a similar character as so pronounced che, which scholars consider to be a substitute for either chai, a mass, or chai, hold. I've sided with the quotient texts. Either way, the meaning amounts to the same thing. In line 3, the quotient text says Tuang Te Chun Chi when floodwaters rise, which is clearly an anomaly, as it does not encourage a change in behavior but merely reflects a natural phenomenon. Can you keep your crescent soul from wandering? Can you make your breath as soft as a baby's? Can you wipe your dark mirror free of dust? Can you serve and govern without effort? Can you be the female at heaven's gate? Can you light the world without knowledge? Can you give birth and nurture, but give birth without possessing? Raise without controlling? This is dark virtue. The Chinese say that the Hun, or bright ethereal Yang soul, governs the upper body, and the Po, or dark earthly Yin soul, concerns itself with the lower body. Here Lao Tzu mentions only the darker soul, but the word Po also refers to the dark of the moon. The opening phrase can also be read as referring to the first day of the new moon. Either way, dark of the soul or dark of the moon. Taoist commentators say the first line refers to the protection of our vital essence, of which semen and vaginal fluid, sweat and saliva are the most common examples, and the depletion of which injures the health and leads to early death. Swan Song says the first transformation of life is called Po. When the Po becomes active and bright, it's called Hun. Wang Ping says life requires three things: vital essence, breath, and spirit. Chao Hung says the mind knows right and wrong. Breath makes no distinction. If we concentrate our breath and don't let the mind interfere with it, it remains soft and pure. Who else but a child can do this? Shuangzi says, the sage's mind is so still it can mirror heaven and earth and reflect the 10,000 things. Wu Cheng says, our spirit dwells in our eyes. When the eyes see something, the spirit chases it. When we close our eyes and look within, everything is dark, but within the dark we still see something. There is still dust. Only by putting an end to delusions can we get rid of that dust. Wang Anshi says the best way to serve is by not serving. The best way to govern is by not governing. Hence Lao Tzu says, without effort, those who act without effort make use of the efforts of others. So heaven's gate, this is the gate through which all creatures enter and leave. When it is open, it is active. When it is closed, it is still. Activity and stillness represent the male and the female. Just as stillness overcomes activity, the female overcomes the male. The images of young women were often carved on either side of the entrance to the ancient subterranean tombs. Su Chai says what lights up the world is the mind. There is nothing the mind doesn't know, and yet no one can know the mind. The mind is one. If someone knew it, there would be two. Going from one to two is the origin of all delusion. Lao Tzu says the way begets them, virtue keeps them. Wang Pai says, if we don't obstruct their source, things come into existence on their own. If we don't suppress their nature, things mature by themselves. Virtue is present, but its owner is unknown. It comes from the mysterious depths, hence we call it dark. The first line has numerous interpretations, to which I have added yet another. Most commentators agree that the character Sai should be placed at the beginning of this verse instead of the end of the previous verse, where it would function as equivalent to a punctuation mark indicating a rhetorical question. 30 spokes converge on a hub, but it's the emptiness that makes a wheel work. Pots are fashioned from clay, but it's the hollow that makes a pot work. Windows and doors are carved for a house, but it's the spaces that make a house work. Existence makes a thing useful, but Swan Song says, 30 spokes converging on a hub demonstrates that less is the ancestor of more. Ho Sheng Kung says, ancient carts have 30 spokes, an imitation of the lunar number. Li Jung says, it's because the hub is empty that spokes converge on it. Likewise, it's because the minds of sages are empty that the people turn to them for help. Cheng Swan Ying says, a cart, a pot, and a house can hold things because they are empty. How much more those who empty their mind? Wu Cheng says, all of these things are useful, but without an empty place. For an axle, the cart can't move. Without a hollow place in the middle, the pot can't hold things. Without spaces for doors and windows, a room can't admit people or light. But these three examples are only metaphors. What keeps our body alive is the existence of breath within us. And it is our empty, non-existent mind that produces breath. Song Chang Sing says, in this verse, the great sage teaches us to understand the source by using what we find at hand. Doors refer to a person's mouth and nose. Windows refer to the eyes, ears, and eyes. Cheng Tao Ling says, when ordinary people see these things, they only think about how they might employ them for their own advantage. When sages see them, they say in them the Tao and are careful in their use. Ted Chiang says, heaven and earth are form, and everyone knows that heaven and earth are useful, but they don't know that their usefulness depends on the emptiness of the great way. Likewise, we all have form and think ourselves useful, but remain unaware that our usefulness depends on our empty, shapeless mind. Thus, existence may have its uses, but real usefulness depends on non-existence. Non-existence, though, doesn't work by itself. It needs the help of existence. Huang Yao Wan Chai says, what is beyond form is the Tao. What has form are tools. Without tools, we have no means to apprehend the Tao. And without the Tao, there is no place for tools. Sui Huai says, at the end of this verse, Lao Tzu mentions both existence and non-existence, but his intent is to use existence to show that non-existence is more valuable. Everyone knows existence is useful, but no one pays attention to the usefulness of non-existence. The 5 colors make our eyes blind. The 5 tones make our ears deaf. The 5 flavors make our mouths numb. Riding and hunting make our minds wild. Hard to get goods make us commit crimes. Thus the rule of the sages favors the stomach over the eyes. Thus they pick this over that. The early Chinese liked to divide everything into 5 basic states of existence. They distinguished things as made up of varying amounts of water, fire, wood, metal, and earth. And each of these came with its corresponding color, blue, red, black, white, and yellow, its corresponding flavor, salty, bitter, sour, pungent, and sweet, its corresponding tone, la, sol, mi, re, and do. Yen says, color is like an owl in the eye, sound is like a stick in the ear, flavor is like an axe through the tongue. Ted Chi-Ying says, when the eyes are given free rein in the realm of form, they no longer see what is real. When the ears are given free rein in the realm of sound, they no longer hear what is real. When the tongue is given free rein in the realm of flavor, it no longer tastes what is real. When the mind is given free rein in the realm of thought, it is no longer knows what is real. When our actions are given free rein in the realm of possession and profit, we no longer do what is right. Like Shuang's tapir, sages drink from the river, but only enough to fill their stomachs. Wu Chang says desiring external things harms our bodies. Sages nourish their breath by filling their stomach, not by chasing material objects to please their eyes. Hence, they choose internal reality over external illusion, but the eyes can't help seeing, and the ears can't help hearing, and the mouth can't help tasting, the mind can't help thinking, and the body can't help acting. They can't stay still, but if we let them move without leaving stillness behind, nothing can harm us. Those who are buried by the dust of the senses or who crave sensory stimulation lose their way. And the main villain in this is the eyes. Thus, the first of the Confucius's 4 warnings concerned vision. Lun Yu 12.1, not to look except with propriety. And the first of the Buddha's 6 sources of delusion was also the eyes. Li Yuhua says, the eyes are never satisfied, the stomach knows when it is full. Song Chengxing says, the main purpose of cultivation is to oppose the world of the senses. What the world loves, the Taoist hates. What the world wants, the Taoist rejects. Even though color, sound, material goods, wealth, and beauty might benefit a person's body, in the end they harm a person's mind, and once the mind wants, the body suffers. If we can ignore external temptations and be satisfied with the way we are, if we can cultivate our mind and not chase material things, this is the way of long life, and the treasures of the world are not matched for this. Swan Song says, how to get goods refer to things that we don't, but require effort to obtain. When we are not content with our lot and allow ourselves to be ruled by a conceit, we turn our backs on heaven and lose the way. Chang Swan Ying says that refers to the blindness and delusion of the eyes. This refers to the fullness and wisdom of the stomach. Favor and disgrace come with a warning. Honor and disaster come with a body. Why do favor and disgrace come with a warning? Favor turns into disfavor. Gaining it comes with a warning. Losing it comes with a warning. Thus do favor and disgrace come with a warning. And why do honor and disaster come with a body? The reason we have disaster is because we have a body. If we didn't have a body, we wouldn't have disaster. Thus, those who honor their body more than the world can be entrusted with the world. Those who cherish their body more than the world can be in charge with the world. Wang Chen says, people who are favored are honored, and because they are honored, they act proud. And because they act proud, they are hated. Because they are hated, they are disgraced. Hence, sages consider success as well as failure to be a warning. Suchai says the ancient sages worried about favor as much as disgrace because they knew that favor is followed by disgrace. Other people think favor means to ascend and disgrace means to descend, but favor cannot be separated from disgrace. Disgrace results from favor. Ho Shenkun says, those who gain favor or honor should worry about being too high, as if they were at the edge of a precipice. They should not flaunt their status or wealth, and those who lose favor and live in disgrace should worry more about disaster. Lu Nangxi says, what does favor become disgrace and honor become disaster? Favor and honor are external things. They don't belong to us. When we try to possess them, they turn into disgrace and disaster. Suma Kwang says, normally a body means disaster. But if we honor and cherish it and follow the natural order in our dealings with others and we don't indulge our desires, we can avoid disaster. Huang Yuanqi says, we all possess something good and noble that we don't have to seek outside ourselves, something that the glory of power or position cannot compare with. People need only start with this and cultivate this without letting up. The ancients said 2 or 3 years of hardship, 10,000 years of bliss. Wang Piang says, it isn't a matter of having no body, but of guarding the source of life. Only those who refuse to trade themselves for something external are fit to receive the kingdom. Wang Pai says, those who are affected by favor and disgrace or honor and disaster are not fit to receive the kingdom. Zhengzhu says the superior person can be entrusted with an orphan or in charge with a state and be unmoved by a crisis. We look but don't see it, and call it indistinct. We listen but don't hear it, and call it faint. We reach out, we reach but don't grasp it, and call it ethereal. Three failed means to knowledge I weave into one, with no light above and no shadow below. To find, to be named, returning to nothing, this is the formless form, the immaterial image, the one that waxes and wanes. We meet without seeing its face, we follow without seeing its back. Whoever upholds this very way can rule this very realm. Discover the ancient maiden, this is the thread of the way. Ho Shang Kung entitles this verse in praise of the dark and says about what has no color, sound, or form, mouths can't speak and books can't teach. We can only discover it in stillness and search for it with our spirit. We cannot find it through investigation. Lu Tong Ping says we can only see it inside us, hear it inside us, grasp it inside us. When our essence becomes one, we can see it. When our breath becomes one, we can hear it. When our spirit becomes one, we can grasp it. Ching Swan Ying says, what we don't see is vital essence, what we don't hear is spirit. What we don't grasp is breath. Sucher says, people see things constantly changing and conclude something is there. They don't realize everything returns to nothing. Qian Kuying says, nothing doesn't mean nothing at all, but simply no form or substance. Wang Pai says, if we try to claim it doesn't exist, how do the myriad things come to be? And if we try to claim it exists, why don't we see its form? Hence we call it the formless form. But although it has neither shape nor form, neither sound nor echo, there is nothing it cannot penetrate and nowhere it cannot go. Li Yua says, everything is bright on top and dark on the bottom, but the Tao does not have a top or a bottom. Hence it is neither bright nor dark. Likewise, we don't see its face because it never appears. We don't see its back because it never leaves. Sao Tao Chong says this very realm refers to our body. Lu Huai Ching says, the past isn't different from today because we know what began in the past, and today isn't different from the past because we know where today came from. What neither begins nor comes from anywhere else, we call the thread that has no end. This is the thread of the Tao. Chen Taoming says, the sages who achieved long life and immortality in the past all succeeded by means of this Tao. Whoever can follow their example today has found the thread of the Tao. The great masters of ancient times focused on the indiscernible and penetrated the dark. You would never know them, and because you wouldn't know them, I describe them with reluctance. They were careful as if crossing a river in winter, cautious as if worried about neighbors, reserved like a guest, ephemeral like melting ice, simple like uncarved wood, open like a valley and murky like a puddle. But those who can be like a puddle become clear when they are still. And those who can be at rest become alive when they're roused. Those who treasure this way don't try to be seen. No trying to be seen, they can hide and stay hidden. Zhao Dao Zhong says, although the ancient masters lived in a world no one thought they were special. Su Cha says, darkness is what penetrates everything, but what cannot itself be perceived. To be careful means to act only after taking precautions. To be cautious means to refrain from acting because of doubt or suspicion. Melting ice reminds us how the myriad things arise from delusion and never stay still on carved wood. Reminds us to put an end to human fabrication and return to our original nature. A valley reminds us how encompassing emptiness is. A puddle reminds us that we are no different from anything else. Wang Yuanchai says Lao Tzu expresses reluctance at bringing those who succeeded in cultivating the Tao, because he knows the inner truth cannot be perceived, only the outward form. The essence of the Tao consists in nothing other than taking care. If people took care to let each thought be detached and each action well considered, where else would they find the Tao? Hence those who mastered the Tao in the past were so careful they waited until the river froze before crossing. They were so cautious they waited until the wind died down before venturing forth at night. They were orderly and respectful as if they were guests arriving from a distant land. They were relaxed and detached as if material forms didn't matter. They were as uncomplicated as uncarved wood and as hard to fathom as murky water. They stilled themselves to concentrate their spirit, and they roused themselves to strengthen their breath. In short, they guarded the center. Wayne Pye says all of these similes are meant to describe without actually denoting. By means of intuitive understanding, the dark becomes bright. By means of tranquility, the murky becomes clear. By means of movement, the still becomes alive. This is the natural way. Wang Chen says those who treasure the way fit in without making a show and stay forever hidden, hence they don't leave any tracks. Alright, we'll leave it there. This is Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, translated by Red Pine with selected commentaries from the past 2,000 years. We'll end it there and begin next on chapter 16. Thank you for visiting philosophyvideos.com. Please go to philosophyvideo.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel, share our videos on your Facebook, Twitter.
Do you live in the US? If yes, then you can get a brand new e-bike for free. I received
The golden sayings of Epictetus. Are these the only works of providence in us? What words suffice to praise or set them forth? Had we but understanding, should we ever cease hymning and blessing the divine power, both openly and in secret, and telling of his gracious gifts? Whether or plowing or eating, should we not sing the hymn to God? Great is God, for that he hath given instruments to till the ground withal. Great is God, for that he hath given us hands, and the power of swallowing and digesting, of unconsciously growing and breathing while we sleep. Thus should we ever have sung, yea, and this, the grandest and divinest hymn of all. Great is God, for that he hath given us a mind to apprehend these things and duly to use them. What then? Seeing that most of you are blinded, should there not be some one to fill this place and sing the hymn to God on behalf of all men? What else can I, that am old and lame, do but sing to God? Were I a nightingale, I should do after the manner of a nightingale. Were I a swan, I should do after the manner of a swan. But now, since I am a reasonable being, I must sing to God. That is my work, I do it, nor will I desert this my post, as long as it is granted me to hold it. And upon you, too, I call to join in this self-same hymn. How then do men act? As though one returning to his country who had sojourned for the night in a fair inn should be so captivated thereby as to take up his abode there. Friend, thou hast forgotten thine intention. This was not thy destination, but only lay on the way thither. Nay, but it is a proper place, and how many more of the sort there be, only to pass through upon thy way. Thy purpose was to return to thy country, to relieve the kinsmen's fears for thee, thyself to discharge the duties of a citizen, to marry a wife, to beget offspring, and to fill the appointed round of office. Thou didst not come to choose out what places are most pleasant, but rather to return to that wherein thou wast born and where thou wert appointed to be a citizen. Try to enjoy the great festival of life with other men. But I have one whom I must please, to whom I must be subject, whom I must obey, God, and those who come next to him. He hath entrusted me with myself, he hath made my will subject to myself alone, and given me rules for the right use thereof. Rufus used to say, if you have leisure to praise me, what I say is not. In truth, he spoke in such wise that each of us who sat there thought that someone had accused him to Rufus, so
I feel like something is going on behind closed doors that we don't know about. How do you bring someone up on stage? Eagle Hawk has his hand up.
I don't know. I tried sending him an invite.
I'm gonna try to. It's not letting me. Okay, invite to speak. Hopefully that works.
But yeah, nah, I think I can pull it off. What's up, Chicago Cheeseburger?
Reborn Shaloylam, I just got back from Walgreens. I had my 4th booster and I'm on my 2nd vaccine. I'm beginning to look like Swamp Thing. Reborn Shaloylam, I'm the next generation of genetic evolution. Dr. Fauci is my daddy, and Dr. Bill Gates is my uncle, and Joe Biden is my daddy. Reborn Shaloylam.
Yeah, the thing is with running for politician is like, why become a politician when you can own a politician? You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it. I'm thinking I'm gonna buy some politicians over the course of the next 20 years.
Well, AOC will probably end up buying you. These politicians are worth $100 million apiece.
It's such a dumb. I'm not gonna talk.
Hunter Biden's only worth like $5 million. Joe Biden's only worth like 10.
On the books, probably.
Yeah, but Barack Hussein Obama's worth over $150 million.
Ain't that fun shit?
Barack Obama's worth more than 150 million. I guarantee he's close to $1 billion.
You're probably fucking right.
He is a billionaire.
Yeah, I guarantee you. Yeah, you're probably right. I'm curious, Shannon. What the rest of the room thinking I'm in one job? How do you speculate that he amassed that well?
I'm sorry. I just put in my earpiece.
Yeah, Obama. What are your ideas on how he amassed that well?
Oh, come on now.
I mean, I don't want to sound like,
Oh, yeah, I believe that a lot of it had to do with the so-called war. Or was it in Afghanistan or something?
Yeah,
Yep.
New American Century. 5 years. Bush started it.
Yep.
His administration. Yes, it did.
And then he's like, okay, here's a $250 million come up. You just leave the military equipment there so they can use it. Hello? Oh yeah, okay, cool. You got to do it though, because I'm not going to be in office, but you're in office, so you can do it. Well, you'll make some money. How about that? Okay, perfect. All right, now let's do. Okay, cool. Let's think of another come up that you can do too. All right, awesome. His hands is in a lot of dirty things. And then trafficking. Hello. Come on now. $60,000 for hot dogs to the White House at 2 a.m.?
Exactly. What do people think that was about?
Uh-huh. I mean, yeah, the list goes on and on. But I guarantee you, all these presidents that come into power, I know people how they feel about Mr. Well, what is it? Shakes and Donald Duck Trump, Mr. Donald Duck, or whatever. But he came in with this thing with money. You know what I mean? He didn't really need it. So he had money. So there's a different objective to it and stuff. But all these other guys, what? Obama was worth what? Maybe not even $1 million or something like that. He came up out of a billionaire. No, he's guaranteed he's a billionaire. Guaranteed. He has partnership in Netflix. That's a big money maker. So yeah.
Do you know that I just read this the other day, and it was I had no prior knowledge of it. Do you know that Donald Trump, and evidently I don't watch mainstream news, But evidently he spoke on his uncle quite often. But his uncle was like a prolific scientist from MIT.
Yeah. Well, you mean the one that took all like Nikola Tesla stuff?
Yeah. And you know where those papers landed? You know where Tesla's research ended up?
Where?
Whose possession?
Obama's?
No.
Who?
Obviously.
Well, yeah, of course.
Because his uncle was in charge of, I guess there was some type of committee or, no, I think it was a Bush administration that put him in charge of looking through the papers, letting them know if there was anything they could use, something like that. That I could be wrong. And he was like, no, but he knew that there was, and then he just passed the shit on. So
yeah, it doesn't surprise.
Did you know Barack Hussein Obama was also getting his dick sucked in Gurney and smoking crack before he became president?
Yeah, that's true. He was getting a little fellatio action and smoking some rock.
Did you know it was the Crown family, a billionaire defense industrial contractor known as Applied Materials? The Crown family put Barack Hussein Obama in power.
Yeah, they put on a little power. Yeah.
And then Mr. Crown died racing his fancy NASCAR car, died in a horrific crash and burned to death.
Wait, did you guys see the recent photo, maybe it's like 3 months ago, Barack and George Clooney on
Oh, yeah. That's an old photo with the Filipino girl.
Yeah, you seen that shit?
Yeah, that's old. Yeah. Where Clooney's unbuckling his trousers.
Yeah, like
she's
business.
Yeah. Like, hey, I gotta get my suck on here, sucky, blah blah blah. I hate to say that, it's horrible, but yeah. And they're on the boat and they're going on to Epstein Island.
Isn't that insane, man?
Yeah.
Did you see Dr. Fauci's testimony where he cried like a little baby in front of Rand Paul, cried like a little schoolgirl?
Oh yeah. You know, Rand Paul's from Minnesota, actually. I believe, yeah, he's from Minnesota.
Did you see Dr. Fauci take his tissue and then dab his eyes as he cried? Oh, Dr. Fauci. Oh, Dr. Fauci.
You know, they're not going to do anything with him. He got a good payoff. What they're going to do is they're going to lock him up and he's just going to go away in an underground bunker or whatever.
Did you join Bill Gates' new book club? I'm reading Bill Gates' selected book readings, and I've never felt so good in my life.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing's going to happen to him. Where's Maxwell? Where's that little bitch?
Did you see Mark Zuckerberg flying around the waves in Maui on a fucking parasail? And his wife. Oh my God, Mark Zuckerberg is so rich. Oy vey. It's kind of funny, if you look at Mark Zuckerberg's Instagram, you see how essentially when you got nothing to do, you just become a social media influencer, so you just post amazing content. And Zuckerberg's life, you know, he really does, him and his wife, they really do post photos of their life, and they live a very, very rich life.
Good, I hope they do, because when their time runs out, they're going to have to pay the piper.
Extravagant life.
Yeah, it is an extravagant life. I mean, he's building a $25 million underground bunker in his $200 million estate on Maui.
Amazing. Do you think it's going to save him?
Rabboina Shalom, I hope so, because, you know, he'll lead the future. If Facebook becomes the de facto world government, because the whole world ends up crashing, it's possible that corporations like Google, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft become the leaders of breakaway governments. It's possible that mega corporations declare, in the event that the United States of America or the dollar crashes, the corporations become the de facto international banks. So, I mean, the communication is almost more important than the bank itself now. So, because it's all fugazi money. So the only thing that really matters is truth. Everything else is just an illusion and a decrepit hypnosis.
Yep. Sorry, I'm getting ready. If you're making noise, apologize.
Are you going to Paisley? Wait a minute. Did that just happen? Paisley Park?
What?
Go?
Did what now?
They had the Paisley Park, right? The commemorative Prince.
Oh, they had his birthday thing festivity at the Dakota. I don't know about Paisley Park. Everyone. Well, yeah, Sheila E. couldn't even get into Paisley Park, take a photo at the studio. They wouldn't allow her to do it. She was kind of upset. She was in town. Everybody was in town, actually, on last Friday, on his birthday. They all performed at the Dakota, actually, downtown. Tickets were sold out. It was last minute stuff, but yeah, it was a nice event. I think they did something after. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, if you guys are free this weekend, we have a movie premiere coming out at UCLA at the Westwood AMC movie theater. We're premiering COVID-19documentary.com, and you're all invited. I just left Walgreens. I got my 6th booster shot from Pfizer, and AMC has teamed up with Pfizer to provide free vaccines if you're not vaccinated yet, and also boosters. So whether you're on your 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th booster, it doesn't matter. We want you to come. We're gonna glaze your popcorn with butter for free, Raboyne Shalom. And so just go to COVID-19documentary.com or coronavirusmovie.com, and you're all invited, Raboyne Shalom.
Yeah, I think this show.
Dr. Copeland's coming. He's got a VIP special box with TC and Nelson Apega and also Jeremy and all the other psychotic Democrat, Trump deranged syndrome peoples. So yeah, if you want to come to Chatter, let's talk about it. It'll be like a Million Man marathon room 24 hours a day. It's basically the new CNN of social audio hypnosis. Let's talk about it. So go to coronavirusmovie.com or COVID-19documentary.com to get free tickets to come to our Westwood Hollywood premiere, Raboyne Shalom. We're going to Netflix, baby. Let's go to the Hollywood Hills. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, Mr. Nelson Apega.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone. I just want to fully endorse COVID-19documentary.com and coronavirusmovie.com. I wish I never had a cigarette in my life. And I run the biggest real estate empire in Clownhouse. So go to COVID-19documentary.com and coronavirusmovie.com. I fully endorse it. God bless you all.
Gotta love us.
The vaccine wasn't all bad. It gave me boobs.
Did it?
Really?
Yeah, it went up 2 cups.
Shit, there was some hormones in it.
Yep.
I think that's just called weight gain, actually. That's a weight gain. That's not breast augmentation.
Oh, no. I got 2 shots, and I literally ended up getting boobs like I never had.
Now, why did you get the shot? What was it?
My boyfriend at the time had multiple sclerosis, and my mom had Crohn's and diabetes, and my stepdad had emphysema. And my mom was the one that was driving me wherever I was going, and so if I wanted to stay where I was and go with my mom when I could, I had to get it. My mom.
So you had pre-existing conditions, is what you're saying.
Everyone around her was a compromise.
What were your pre-existing conditions?
Wow.
I have early COPD, bronchial asthma, and chronic bronchitis.
Got it. So do you go to the gym every day?
No, but I'm not every day, but I don't actually go to a gym.
Do you still wear a mask every day?
Oh God, no.
How many booster shots have you gotten?
None. I only got 2 shots.
When was the last time you ate a chicken chop salad?
I've never had a chicken chop salad.
I rest my case. Do you floss your teeth and use baby wipes?
Sometimes.
I do. Also.
Be careful with those baby wipes, guys.
I cannot use. I have to use baby wipes. I
Okay.
gotta get a bidet.
Wet those fuckers down because they've been known to cause issues with.
What?
Yo, my
Yeah.
fiance wants to say something.
Well, let me
Hey,
say,
fiance.
cheeseburger is 100% right. You gotta floss, and you gotta. If your girl don't have baby wipes, she got a dirty little booty. But one thing about baby wipes, you gotta be careful. They found certain baby wipes cause cancer in babies, which is crazy.
Yes, the rectum, the colon cancer.
Yeah, so I bought these, it's called Kinder, the brand is Kinder by Nature. They're expensive as shit, but you can get a box of like 20 of them on Amazon. And they're plastic free, they're plant-based, biodegradable, da-da-da, like.
What chemicals? That's what you gotta be worried about.
Yeah, well, these are chemical free, so I don't know, just try to stay away from, there's a really good Instagram that I follow, it's called, The Natural Minded Mama, and she basically gives you swaps for all this poisonous stuff. Like, I recently just replaced our laundry detergent and the stuff that makes it smell good in the dryer, because that stuff is pure cancer causing. So, you know, with all these endocrine disruptors that are turning us into bug people and turning us into these androgynous, dickless, vaginalist people. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that, especially something that you're wiping your hoo-ha with.
Yep.
Man, that's.
Yeah, just wet them down before you use them. That's what some people do, just cause, you know. But yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah, I can't. Without.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You use them, but you wet them down. Just get some different ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
The ones I get say all natural, but I'm sure it's probably a lie.
All natural doesn't mean that. You know, natural flavors, it could be 100,000 chemicals in it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and when they say something free, it just means that that's free in it. It doesn't mean that it doesn't have it.
All illusion. Look at the ingredients. Natural flavors could be over 100 different chemicals. And of course, natural flavors in your drinks and stuff like that. Sorry to say it, folks, but the vanilla extract is from a beaver's ass. So, and a lot of those other flavors. It's from a gland. Yeah, go Google it.
Girl. It 1,000% is. Any fake vanilla is beaver butt juice.
They're milking the beaver's prostate to get me the vanilla extract.
The ass gland.
The ass gland.
I don't know, why don't they just milk ours, huh? No, I'm just kidding.
If vanilla would come out your ass glands, you'd be a special individual.
Yeah, so you know what's crazy too? If the weed, they've been putting fentanyl on it. Yeah.
Yep, they've been killing people.
Now
On the weed?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
One's
That's
from
why
the street or from the store?
the shit from the street.
Yeah.
That's why the only time I get weed is from my guy who sells weed to the store.
And the cocaine.
And he's got really good cocaine too. But I'm not doing the cocaine.
But they've definitely been putting fentanyl in the cocaine.
Yeah, they're cutting it.
Yeah. I'm actually 1 year and 1 month sober. So all I do is smoke weed though. So no cocaine for me. The thing about cocaine is once you do cocaine, you love cocaine. That's the thing.
You're very right about that.
I didn't. It wasn't.
Especially when you get the best. It's like, fuck.
Yeah, especially when you get the fucking best.
Mm-hmm.
Quick.
Yep.
I don't know, Shannon. I had some. It was supposedly. I mean, not that we need to glorify drugs, but yeah, it was supposed to be good shit. I mean, it just didn't do anything for me. I get more out of Adderall than.
Well, yeah, Adderall is just methamphetamines, pharmaceutically marketed. Yeah.
I've had fun that literally passed me right out.
It passed out.
Oh yeah, it was totally cut with fentanyl. It had to be.
Oh, like goes off.
I passed like right out. I was nodding out like somebody that does that shit.
Yeah, shit happens, man. At least you got your life still.
You can't. Drugs are just don't do them. They're not safe. They're not. It's not like 10 years ago. Like.
It's not like 10 years ago.
Yeah, they're not safe, and you don't want to get a pack, and then at the end of your life, like, it's not worth it.
Yeah. Shit. You know what's the best though? Riding bicycles.
Yeah, that natural high.
Yeah, you know the guy who invented LSD? The first thing he did on LSD when he was the first person to trip on that shit was he hopped on a bicycle. So there's something there. It's such a simple contraption. Yeah, it's so fucking fun. I gotta get a new bike.
That's good, I guess. You gotta keep those natural highs going.
Right. Yeah. So.
Shit, I microdosed on LSD one time. And you wanna know what I did, Shannon?
I wanna know.
I listened to Prince.
What'd you do?
I listened to Prince Purple Rain from
Hell yeah.
Jimi Hendrix.
and I was like, oh my God, this is a whole. This was a whole gospel.
Yeah. No, Prince Purple Rain.
Like listening to it from front to back nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my, it was an experience. Yeah.
Go listen to the whole 1999 album nonstop, just straight through.
All right, I got it.
That's the best.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
my
listened to
favorite
Pink
albums.
Floyd.
Yeah,
I ended up
remember.
listening to Pink Floyd and watching The Wizard of Oz.
That's what they tell you to do. I remember that's what they told me to do growing up. Like watch Pink Floyd. You know, like the triangle with the prisoner and shit. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. At the same time. Where you got the movie and the music synced into one another.
It totally goes with it. It's wild.
Yeah.
Probably on purpose, I'm sure. You know they use I'm not trying to trip you guys out, but you know there's a whole MK Ultra programming that has to do with Wizard of Oz programming. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Pink Floyd shit played right into it as well. He's laughing. It's serious. It's real shit, Cheeseburger. Whether they listen to me or not. But it is real.
I gotta find this sculpture I did 10 years ago while I was tripping balls. Here it is. Alright, PTR. PTR now. I made this sculpture on 2 tabs of acid. Tripping my fucking head off.
What is this? The surface of Mars?
It's supposed to be Pandora's box. So the box is actually a pyramid, and when you open it, it opens in 3 parts, like it broke open, and it's 3-sided, or 4-sided technically, and then the chaos that comes out is this pool of acid.
I'm not gonna lie, that looks esoteric as shit. That shit came through you.
Yeah, and then and then what's left in the box is hope, and that's the sphere that's like kind of being cradled in the chaos.
Yo, dude, I was wearing the preservation hat. By the way, everyone should get one. They're fucking dope as shit. And this guy is like I'm walking in the smoke shop with my son, just because I'm looking for some different kratom or whatever. And fucking this guy comes out like, turn that to red. I was like, oh, thanks. And I was like, fuck, I wish I had the website. I forgot what the website was. I would have sent him to it, but next time I'll just send it. I've been getting a lot of compliments on it, so. You like shirt, too.
I've enjoyed my hat.
I will. Yeah, well, you don't have a phone. Did you get a phone yet?
Yeah, what's your number?
612-845-9003. Just text me.
I have
you get the same number or you change your number?
I always change my number. I'll probably change my number again in 6 months.
Alright, well just keep me updated then.
I have the preservation hat on my Hinge profile, so thousands of women in Chicago have seen the preservation.
Nice. Alright, I love you. Yeah, you're right about the Wizard of Oz. It was an MK Ultra programming method for all their victims. Follow the yellow brick road.
Yep.
The author of Wizard of Oz is from Lincoln Park.
That followed the tablets of Gaul.
Yep. Did you say a cheeseburger?
Oz, the author, is from Chicago, from Lincoln Park, and Lincoln Park is the scene of the 1968 DNC riots, and they're anticipating that in August of this year in Chicago there will be a major escalation of violence against the Chicago police and against the Democrats.
Wow.
And what you said in what month?
August is the DNC, so it should pair up historically with the 68 violence, and I think with the Free Palestine ceasefire genocide psychopaths, you will see actual terrorism in Chicago against the DNC and against the police. It's just my predictive programming.
I won't doubt it. Dude, there are so many cop cars here today and military vehicles with these they're towing these big things. They look like generators. Those huge boxes.
That's like a picture.
I'm driving usually. I can't be doing it, but yeah, I'll fix him a pull over. But it was the past few days. There were like 4 or 5 Hummers, and then there were these, the vans that hold the people, whatever crates. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know anything about military, but they had these huge things they were towing, and they looked like generators of power. They were some sort of power out boxes, because you could see like that. You know what I mean? The things they had to plug in and all that.
They're talking about something where before the election, something's going to go down with the power grid.
Well, yeah, of course.
What state?
Me? Minnesota.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I don't see how, the nuclear power plants are going to go down, because in Chicago we have what's called ComEd, which is an Exelon corporation, and they basically juice all the Democrats. It's amazing how the political tree of every major city is fully embedded into the utility corporations, and they all get kickbacks, they all get bribes, and the utility corporations are making hand over fist, and nationwide, Congress even passed legislation so that all electric utility corporations could increase your bill by 25% in 2024. So
The answer is simply they're going to pull the plug when they want the shit to hit the fan. It's social engineering. It's not hard to wrap your mind around.
Yeah, but if the if the electricity grid goes down, that means you're implying the communication network goes down. If the communication network goes down, and that means they have full censorship, and that means a Democrat superpower. It's possible, but not probable.
I mean, here's the thing. We got to look at this thing. We know that there's certain other. It's just not just the dude. It's just not just one. specific party. It's both parties. It's just to undermine. Come on now. They all play the same role together. Yeah. There's some that aren't against for this. Yeah, exactly. There's some that are part of that chicken, and there's some that are part or not. You know what I mean? They're on a different bird with a different wing. There's Democrats that are all for not the vax and shit like that. Come on now. There's people like that. But
Really? I never met people like that. Like Dr. Copeland?
fuck that guy. I should have said, no, he's awesome. He's great. He's tremendous. No. Yeah, whatever you want to say.
I don't think they're going to shut the grid down like this year. I don't think that they're not going to do that shit for you.
I think they're doing exercises because
look what they did on the on the flips. They had people there.
Exactly. And look at all the storms. Look at all the look at the storms and the tornadoes. Hello.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Here today, gone tomorrow. You're living in the Midwest. Next thing you know, your entire suburb is gone.
That's right. You got farm property.
Well,
I mean,
I would get the hell out of California.
Why are they spraying over all major cities? Why is the government and why is DuPont and Dow Chemicals spraying over every major city with jets?
What about all the... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Our test markets, where they're rolling out a bunch of bullshit. We know that those two cities, they do roll out shit. Test markets. And what happens there is soon to happen in every other major city, too. Not confined to those states. People think the fentanyl crisis is confined to Jersey, Kensington, and Skid Row, and the Tenderloin. They're out of their mind. That shit it's gonna be everywhere. Every city's gonna have a Skid Row. Look at all this. I'm not racist. I'm not against immigration. My mother immigrated. These were different immigrants then. These immigrants came, they worked, they built businesses. It's different than now.
Biden executive ordered the borders, if you forget. He shut down the immigration. Remember? Just did that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm here to save the day.
There was an article that came out yesterday that one of Venezuela's biggest, most notorious and dangerous criminal narcotics, prostitution gangs have completely infiltrated through the recent surges.
Yes, they have.
I'm not sure. I didn't fact check this, but I read it earlier today that Bush's wife is through marriage is connected to the
Alistair Crowley.
Spanish family, and
okay,
and they're directly connected to the cartels. Hence the open borders and the trafficking of children and dope on the Texas border.
Well, the Bush family and the Clintons have been trafficking drugs and children for years.
Yes.
Through the pipelines, the oil pipelines. You could shut those things down and move a lot of weight through those things easily.
You know why they went into Afghanistan? Come on now. You guys know why.
The heroin, the poppy seed fields, and the technology.
Exactly.
The CERN technology.
It's funny, they went into Afghanistan for the poppies, but they're giving everyone synthetic fucking heroin. Doesn't make sense.
Well, yeah, you remember when the huge opiate crisis came out? And then, boom, they shut it all down. Oh, we got too many people on drugs now. Okay, here we go. Now let's put them on, what do you call it?
Exactly. That's why there's a setup. Every doctor was prescribing opioids. That they just...
To everybody! I got mad.
What we're gonna do, of course.
Dude, I was in an accident. I didn't need that much. They were prescribing the strongest pain pills ever. I should have been on Tramadol or just freaking ibuprofen or whatever. Well, I don't take that shit anyway. I took the drugs. Guess what I did with it? Hello. Made some come up. Fuck it. I don't care. Whatever. That's what I...
Heart goes too. That shit.
Mm-hmm. I took, and when I did take it, oh fuck, that shit's crazy, man. And then what I did is I just took some kratom and weaned myself off of that. Kratom was the same thing. You could buy it anywhere. I mean, they shut it down in New York or whatever. Like, it's funny why they want to shut that down because it's got people off opioids and heroin and stuff. it acts the same thing as an opioid, but you can get it for a lot cheaper. You can get a kilo of it for like $80.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I got tons of it. You know what? This is what I've been stocking up on because of the fact is just in case there is a situation. I got my turmeric, inflammation, ginger and stuff like that, growing ginger, and I got the kratom for pain relief pain pill because guess what? What are people going to be hitting first? The pharmacies for pain medicine.
I haven't stocked up but I have a little plastic bin full of ibuprofen and shit like that.
Yeah, I got turmeric. I got a lot of all natural inflammation and stuff like that.
Make sure you stock up on a good enema supply as well, because you may have caloric restrictions that cause you to have backup. So having a good enema product to flush your system and get a colonic.
I know what you're talking about. I got my baking soda and lime and my spring water. And my bentonite clay.
Your salt.
My salt, I call it the soda blast.
You're like an Amazon Prime beauty discount sale.
Yeah. Oh, and I got my beef tallow for my moisturizer. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your what? Beef what?
Beef tallow.
What is that?
You can cook with it, you can eat it, and you can use it as a skin moisturizer, and it reduces fine lines, wrinkles, and it actually rejuvenates your skin. I get the stuff that has like honey in it, and raw honey, and bee pollen. A few other essential oils. But yeah, you can use regular beef tallow. You can go to your regular butcher shop, they probably sell it. You cook with it. It's probably better cooking with than most of the cooking oils that you have. You know, you got avocado oil, and you got coconut oil, and grapeseed oil,
But the avocado oil's not regulated, so you don't know what they're putting in it.
Yeah, you got to get a really good source. I get my olive oil. I don't cook with olive oil. I get my olive oil from Morocco because it's the highest grade of high polyphenol. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, but beef tallow, yes, works wonders. I was paying like $85 a month for a skincare line, well, every 2 months. Really good one too. And I was like, man, this is expensive. And then I heard about beef tallow, dude, and I started using that. It only cost me half the fraction of it. Oh, wow.
No gnarly scent or anything.
What kind of baby wipes do you use? Do you use off-the-shelf, fragrance, coconut, vanilla? What fragrant baby wipes do you use on your sweet tuffers?
I have a bidet hooked up in my toilet, so I just, right?
Ooh, a bidet?
You can get one of them. You can hook up your toilet and make it
a portable bidet?
You can hook that up, man.
Does it tickle?
Really not focused on that. Just focused on, hey.
Cleanliness.
Cleanliness.
Cheeseburger, do you want it to tickle? Come on.
I got a tickle in your anus. I've got a tickle in my anus.
I'm sure it's kind of like giving yourself a half-prostate sort of colonic. I mean, I don't know.
A colonic a day keeps the doctor away.
Colonic. Yeah, no. But yeah, beef tallow is the shit. Look into it.
I just did.
It works really fucking well.
Beef eaters? I love that gin.
I just turned 52, and yeah, I noticed a big difference using it. Like, when you shave and stuff, underneath your neck and stuff, you put that right on it, wow, man. It's crazy. I use it twice a day, but it works really well.
No ingrown.
And it's crazy.
Oh, wow.
It's like putting skin to skin, you know what I mean? It's kind of like...
like omega-3 fatty acid.
Yeah.
All the good stuff. Okay.
And then what I do is you know, when you get older, you want to take care of yourself. You still want to have a little fun, but you got to focus on taking care of yourself. So I do like a celery juice every day. Maybe it was some
celery. I love good celery juices.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And some parsley and maybe some carrot and an apple.
Ooh, do you put turmeric in it?
And lemon, that's what I'm going to get right now.
Lemon, alkaline.
Don't forget the turmeric.
What's up, everybody? Have an ultra amazing day in existence.
What up? Is any margarita?
Ultra, you're on fire!
Margarita this morning. Wine champagne with the motherfucking donut from Trader Joe's.
Okay, so no margarita.
Ooh!
Just a blunt and a donut.
Brother Margarita. This woman's on the phone like, oh my God, who is this?
Oh yeah. Big love, bitch. Free Tory.
And a photon there and a neutron there. Everywhere's a neutron, nevertron. Oh, excuse me. Photon is a. Oh,
So Ultra, eczema and everything is breaking out because of the vaccine now.
You said something about a what?
These overweight girls always had eczema. It's a pre-existing condition.
Chicks and
chickens on the pot? Who's a chicken on the pot?
No, monkeypox.
They need to go to Israel and go to the Dead Sea and coat themselves in the mud of King David. Rabbeinu Shalom.
Go click on the link here. Go click on the link, Ultra.
It's a Jewish conspiracy. They want you to all go to Israel, to go to the Dead Sea, to go on vacations, to put their beautiful, delicious mud on your skin and cake it on to get rid of the eczemas.
Shut the fuck up. I know you're an Oregon brother, okay? You need to go to Pine State Biscuits and get a biscuit and shut the front door. My God.
He's actually Chicago, but yeah.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
I'm just telling you, if you're an overweight woman with eczema, don't go to your pharmacist. Go to the Israel Dead Sea and put the Jewish King David black mud cake on your skin and heal yourself. Rabbeinu Shalom.
Eczema, I don't eat nothing I can't spell. What is that?
Eczema is a skin disease, bro.
Oh, I didn't know.
Salt water.
Yeah, you start looking like lizard people.
Are you serious? Okay, so wow, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Jump in the ocean.
You said something about the ocean?
Salt water, yeah, good for your skin.
Yep, the Dead Sea. You can float in the Dead Sea. Come and float with us.
I had heard a little birdie flew in and Crip walked and told me that Egypt is actually America. Allegedly.
Yeah, it's in Chicago.
In Chicago?
It's in D.C. too.
Yeah.
In D.C. In the Grand Canyon.
Yep, Grand Canyon as well. There's pyramids in the Grand Canyon.
What?
What is it called?
Yep.
NASA owns the
Are you serious? Oh, sorry.
Yep.
This girl's on the phone. She's like, oh my God. You're lying.
I'm not lying.
So
why
when
do you think NASA owns the rights to Egypt, the pyramids, and the Grand Canyon? Why do you think you can't travel to certain parts of the Grand Canyon? Hello?
Why? A brilliant mind once told me that these mummified bodies of these ancient Egyptian warriors and queens and goddesses and gods were getting prepared for the afterlife. Are we in the afterlife right now? That's the posing question that I have to ask. Because if you want to got to walk across in the hood.
How about this? How about that was the Jetsons back then, and we're the Flintstones? How about that?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Hey.
But George Jetson was born in 2020.
No, the Jetsons. Come on, the Jetsons in the past had more.
They're
we had
coming.
more advanced technology back then, the Tartarian Empire, than we do now. So I think we are the Flintstones.
Netflix is coming out with a new George Jetsons movie. He divorces his wife, becomes trans, and goes around as a Georgette. And he also castrates his.
Oh my
Yeah, he circumcises his son and castrates him and makes him into his gay sex eunuchs.
So he becomes Joan Jett. Does he sing a song called "I Love Rock and Roll" or what?
I love rock and roll, roly poly like a holy poly.
I had a crush on Joan Jett back in the day. She was pretty freaking hot. So all right.
Let me tell you. Go ahead. You like Blondie?
Oh, Deborah. Oh yeah.
Debbie here.
Yeah. But Joan Jett. Woo! I love those brunette rocker chicks. Oh my God.
If you thought that movie was something, I heard a little birdie flew in and quick walked and told me there's a new movie coming out. It's called what's her name? What's that little girl's name?
What girl?
What's the name of it?
For what?
Ashley Biden, Joe Biden's daughter, the victim of a pedophile abuser. Joe Biden and Ashley Biden.
It's Rosemary's Baby's auntie. She has 1,000 personalities, multiple personality disorder. Now that's a movie I gotta see.
Is Hunter Biden directing the film?
No, it's Roman Polanski, the pedophile.
No, that's Joe Biden, the pedophile. Hunter Biden's a pedophile too, but the big guy is the main #1 pedophile.
So Roman Polanski's auntie? What? No way.
Rosemary's Baby? Remember Rosemary's Baby? Well, it's a new movie, Rosemary's Baby's auntie.
At the Dakota with the occultist is where
her crazy ass auntie
was assassinated.
Right.
It's
right there.
Coming out? What?
No, I didn't make that up.
You motherfucker.
He's gonna look it up on Google. Rosemary's Baby's auntie.
I was about to crash into the semi looking that shit up. I was like, what the hell?
Oh my God.
I'm kidding. No.
You know what?
Straight up,
I would say ultra dinner with the donut and the margarita.
Is that Roman Polanski who was a pedo and his wife was the one Sharon Tate who got murdered in the Manson murders?
Right?
Are you serious?
And guess who he used to molest?
You tell me why Nicki Minaj took the alias from Roman Polanski.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Why was Joe Biden at Manson's ranch? Why was Joe Biden a part of that occult CIA MK Ultra circle?
Well, how did her husband become a pedophile if his last name is Petty? That should be the key word right there.
Roman Polanski also, he was the one that molested what's-her-face, the one that was married to, another pedophile.
Which one?
Come on, the guy, the big Jewish director, the one that supposed Woody Allen.
Oh, he was another fucking pedo. Mia Farrow, yeah.
Mia Farrow was molested by Roman. You remember? That's the reason why he left town.
Well, she's a young girl. They said Jaguar Wright got detained. She's in jail over submitting. She posted the videos from the dark web of Nicki Minaj and Scarlett Johansson. I mean, what's her name? Megan Thee Stallion. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Megan Thee Stallion? Does it show that Megan Thee Stallion is actually a real stallion or what?
I don't know. I met Megan a couple of weeks ago in LA. She was cool. You know, I couldn't tell nothing.
You didn't get any Adam's apple vibes?
Not at all. No, she's very nice.
Okay, well, that's cool.
But
that's just a front.
Yeah, it's a front. Look at the new album cover. It tells you everything. It's Monarch. It's fully signaling Monarch mind control.
Let's pause for a commercial break. This is Pfizer letting you all know that today's Preservation of the Human Race is sponsored by Pfizer. Make sure to get your updated booster shots. This again is Pfizer. Today's podcast here with the Preservation of the Human Race is sponsored by Pfizer.
Pfizer. Oh, my bad.
They're all bad, man.
Oh shit! I gotta call my dad.
I gotta check on Beyonce because they said that Beyonce was rushed to the hospital over something that happened with her and Jay-Z. I hope she's okay.
Again, this today's Preservation of the Human Race is sponsored by Pfizer. Don't look at Hunter Biden's prosecution being guilty on gun charges and pedophilia. Let's all go get boosted and vaccinated. Be sure to vote Democrat and go to Preservation of the Human Race to get your fully vaccinated booster shots. Again, this preservation of the human race is sponsored by Pfizer and Dr. Copeland's Office of Medical Research Technology, Demoralization, Negative NLP, and Making You Feel Miserable. Thanks again, Dr. Copeland, and we will call you, don't call us. Thank you very little, Pfizer. Again, today's preservation of the human race is sponsored by Pfizer.
If you or a family member or a loved one is struggling with marshmallow filiona, where you put marshmallows on your pizza, your tacos on Taco Tuesday, and marshmallows on your ice cream and your souffles, and just eat marshmallows by themselves, to not look like the marshmallow marching down the fucking block in New York from Ghostbusters with that little hat from Paris on their head. Call us today.
It's just condensed bacon. That's all marshmallows are. Come on now. Well, you can get vegan marshmallows too. So.
Marshmallow filiona.
I actually had some vegan marshmallows. They were actually pretty good.
Vegan marshmallows. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, they had this on at Walmart. They totally pass and they clear. They're vegan.
Oh God, just don't eat marshmallows.
Also, everybody, this is Nelson the Pig, and let's talk about it. If you haven't downloaded our new Chatter app, be sure to download, whether it's Android or Apple, download Chatter so you can join the Million Man Marathon chat rooms on Chatter 24 hours a day. Let's talk about it.
S'mores, Keys. S'mores. Graham crackers, a chocolate bar, and a nice vegan marshmallow. Smack it together. Oh, so good.
You know what? Forget about a convention. Who wants to go on a camping trip?
Let's go. Let's do it. We should do a futuristic camping trip where we camp in the future. Everything is futuristic and shit.
Let's do a seance and have Dick Cheney come and appear before us with a shotgun and a Sith Lord.
There we go.
Ooh, he said a what?
The Alkalite just came out.
I said Joe Biden is a Sith Lord. Don't vote Joe Biden. For God's sakes, everybody, vote Kennedy. Vote independence. And free yourself from the dark Sith Lord known as Joe Biden.
Fantasia once said, you gotta free yourself. Go ahead and free yourself. Yeah.
I thought in Vogue said free yourself, free your mind.
Ooh, I never knew there was a mask on your face until you said gas for air and breathe and put that mask out below your nose so you're not breathing in the CO carbon and you breathing outside your nostrils. Oh, never mind. Sounds on you. Ain't that about a bitch?
Record that. Oh, sure.
I know, right? Woke up this morning, y'all. This is Jill Scott. Ready? With a what? With a mask on my face. I forgot to take the shit off. I went downstairs, made some scrambled eggs and some grits and some chicken too. And I still got a mask on my face making breakfast. You didn't even smell the food, Jill. Grits.
Did you see her on stage stuck in a mic's dick?
She was, no, I saw her smoking a blunt. I didn't see her smoking Mike stick? Mike who? Mike Jones?
Look up that report.
Wow.
Wow.
Today's preservation of the human race is brought to you by Pfizer. Make sure you get your 6th booster shot by the end of June, everyone. This again is Pfizer sponsoring today's preservation of the human race. Thank you all very little. We'll call you, don't call us. Thank you for coming. We knew you were going to come. Hope you come again.
Call you. Oh, I forgot. Don't call us, 'cause we don't care. Don't call us. Oh, I did it again. Oh, Lord. I need to record these memes and commercials.
What's up, G? I see everybody's officially lost their mind.
There's a burger. A burger is ran loose.
Oh, I'm gonna come.
Pfizer is sponsoring Chicago Cheeseburgers, where we have nothing burgers, but lots of boosters. So don't forget to get your Pfizer booster by the end of June. Again, today's preservation of the human race is brought to you by Pfizer and Dr. Bill Gates. Please sign up for Dr. Bill Gates' book club today so you can begin your education and career journeys on LinkedIn today.
Don't eat GMO fruits and vegetables.
Here's the funny shit. less than
my bad.
3 hours ago, Republican he was reading to me. We were meditating on Tao, something.
You were dowing? Like a dowser?
Of the universe. And look how I digressed in a matter of 3 hours.
You know what? I just want to thank y'all for dealing with my shenanigans the other day. Because I really didn't give a fuck. But I do. You know, just in case if you were offended if I said the B word, or the F word, or the A word. Extraterrestrial. But anyways, I love you all. Back to you.
What's up, Key? Haven't talked to you in a couple of days. What's going on?
There's a booger on your mask. It took a while to figure it out. There's a booger on your mask, baby. I was just letting you know. All right, have a good day. All right, y'all, I'll be back. Shut up, Kay. I'm convinced there's a booger on your mask. Thank you, driver. I love y'all. I'll call y'all back. I'll be back. Beans, greens, potatoes, ham, hog, maul, the wall. You name it. Thank you. Honey. That margarita's really kicking. All right, I'll be back. Shipping down.
Oh my God. Eagle Hawk, how are you? What is this? Tartarian? No, honestly, if we did a camping trip, they could put a camera crew on us and it would turn into a show. Like, it would be epic.
What's the difference between doing that and coming on Clown House right now? I mean, bust out your camera and start filming this now. This is the camping trip. You ain't gonna get no camping trip. This is all you're gonna get.
You gotta pitch your tent, you gotta get, drink water, shit together, all that stuff, cook your food. It would be a bonding experience.
Yeah, it's called Clown House. Welcome to the Clown Town campsite you've been looking for. You've already booked it. And you're here right now. It's costing you $50 a night to park your trailer.
Damn.
Yeah, you have to be here now.
Please come home now. I got beans and bologna.
No, I would it would be fun to go camping. We have, all you could bring is your mixtape, like your playlist, and and your sleeping bag, and of course we'd have to have tent then. That would be a blast. No, all right, whatever.
I don't know.
You and your girl got this. You get your own tent week.
I like cabins.
Yeah, glamping. I've never been camping anytime. Ever.
Why don't you just go to Conspiracy Con and get yourself a hotel tonight?
Camping. I never done any of that shit.
I like camping.
Yeah, who likes to go fishing?
So does Joe Biden and Ashley Biden.
Alright, whatever. I bet you Shannon likes to fish.
I love to fish. I'm a fisherman.
See?
I used to have a sailboat. So yeah, I used to fish. I used to have it on Lake Superior. Used to go trolling every weekend. Deep sea fishing.
Oh my God, I got a sailboat and I go trolling every weekend too.
Yeah, you troll. You're trolling right now. I'm just kidding.
He's a fun draw. Sailboat on Lake Carrier, huh?
Doctor has an open invite to my boat. He can fly into Chicago and go live on my sailboat any weekend he wants, Raboy Shalom.
Yeah, I just can't bring my cigarettes, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. You can't bring your cigarettes.
Well, fuck that.
Well, I'm not going.
That's okay. There will be a smoking event at the Democratic National Committee that I'm organizing on Posh.vip, where we're gonna encourage everybody to smoke Marlboro Lights and drink Diet Coke. Raboy Shalom.
This sounds like an ignorant, it probably is an ignorant question. You could sail on the Great Lakes, like.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's like the Apostle Islands. You can't see the other side. The Apostle Islands. Yep.
Wow.
You can even, Madeline Island has its own airport.
You can sail from Chicago to London.
We took the sailboat from Barker's Island through the Mississippi River to St. Croix River. That's where we last had our sailboat.
We sailed from Chicago to Tokyo.
Oh, that's yours. You're still making mine.
Yeah.
Not on that little 22-foot thing you call a dinghy.
I had a 37 CNC landfall 38. No, it's CNC landfall 38, sorry.
We bet a guy named Tyrone in a flat earth room that we could circumnavigate the globe in my 24-foot sailboat for $100, and we recently won the bet, Raboy Shalom. We just got back last Thursday, but the earth is definitely not flat. I'm pretty sure it's globular.
Never mind. Hey, Doc, and Zach, and everyone. We're just having fun.
Well, I'm down for camping, though. I mean, but it's going to be glamping when I do it, because I got my church van that, it used to seat 16 people in it. I took all those chairs out of it and all that, so between, like 2 queen blow-up mattresses inside of it, and, all your little camping gear.
Ooh, the preservation of Clown House cult is forming.
You just have to pick a place. I mean, I'm really only, familiar with stuff down here in the South. So anything in Florida, Juniper Springs, Blue Springs,
Oh, yeah, I can't. Florida.
Springs.
Blizzards, and it's got to be like Michigan.
No, let's go to where Alex Jones infiltrated and filmed the ceremony to Moloch.
There's no weird shit in Michigan. Nothing is gonna, there's no weird shit.
Yeah, Michigan is boring.
Yeah, well, we don't have snakes that are gonna kill your ass. No, actually, it's all right. Whatever. All right, wherever you guys want to go.
Boundary Waters.
Ooh, what's that?
Key, you know about the Boundary Waters, don't you?
I don't. Is it a Yankee thing?
Well, he's from Minnesota. I'm from Detroit.
Yeah, but Boundary Waters is amazing. It's a great camping area.
Do you get a free booster shot when you book your reservation?
No. I went there when I was young. My dad and.
Are masks optional?
It was great. There's canoe all around the islands and the whole area, the rapids and everything. It's like a lot of work, but it's awesome.
Is that Pfizer-controlled territory? Is there a Pfizer campsite there?
I don't know because it wasn't there when I was there, so I'm not sure.
Did you read about the recent joint partnership between Space Force and Pfizer? They're going to bring vaccines to the moon.
No. Did you see they partnered up with Coca-Cola and Pepsi?
Ooh, they're going to bring Coca-Cola to the moon?
Nanotechnology? Your Coca-Cola has now nanotechnology in it? Well, it's probably already had it in it.
Can it give me AIDS?
Yeah, hey, sugar content, the high fructose corn syrup in there, you know, breaks your immune system. I'm sure it can manipulate it.
If I have an unprotected sexual experience with a Diet Coke plastic bottle and I get a Pfizer vaccine the same day, will I implode?
Oh my God. What would your offspring be? What would be the pronoun for your
They would be
offspring?
patrilineally Jewish. No, they would be patrilineally Jewish.
It's not a pronoun.
When I open up JPAM-K in Gaza, we're gonna have a Jewish patrilineal Coca-Cola bottling plant built.
The secret ingredient.
Rhubarb. Mandrake.
Sugar. Sugar, sugar, sugar in your tank.
Root beer. Bubblicious.
It's kind of fucked up though. You talk about like, you know, nanobots. You can reprogram them, you know, wirelessly, and if they're already in human bodies, you can just tell them, you know, kill the host, you know, and they'll do it.
Yeah, you can just tell your body. You can exercise the nanobots out of your bloodstream and your genetic coding and say, "Go back to Fauci, whence thou came. Back to Fauci!" And then all the nanobots will crawl out of your penis or your vaginal orifice, and they will literally join into a globular cloud in the sky and all fly back to Dr. Fauci, where he will inhale all of the nanobots and suck them into his infinite soul of darkness.
I don't know which is but I want some, but no. Because they're made with two things that are called optomagnetogenetics.
Nanotubes?
No, it's so you need the usage of optomagnetogenetics to deploy biosensors in someone's body, and so the code is already embedded into your DNA through reverse transcriptase and with the mRNA, and so you can't take them out, or you can't, let's say, nullify.
Rick, that's why I'm asking for almond milk every day at Starbucks. I'm never doing whole milk again.
Christ. Okay. So now all these people that are pushing those things to supposedly, you can't. As simple as that.
Do you think that has something to do with the trans epidemic?
Hold on a second, Republican Doug.
Well, I mean, I've done a lot of study on this, and I mean, I've studied nanotechnology for more than 20 years, and it is 100% completely reprogrammable while it's in the human body.
See, I told you, Rick.
Oh, jeez. Okay. No, I know it's reprogrammable, but you can't take them out. That's why they made the.
Don't be a pessimist.
Take them out. Once they're in your body, they want them there. Now they got you. They can RFID you when you walk around, and they have scanners with 5G, you know.
5G towers that are set up like fake pineapple trees.
This guy's very disturbing. Yeah, Doc. Yeah, I understand that. But as much as you can reprogram them, they can reprogram them.
I know, but like, you know, I know Republican was making a joke saying, "Will it give me AIDS?" Well, if they say attack the CD4 receptor on your T4 helper cells within the lymphatic system of the human body, and the nanotubes do that, now you effectively have AIDS.
Correct.
Ooh, I told you.
But you know, it's but it's like a simulation. Well, let's say you will have all of the symptoms of AIDS, and you will definitely have AIDS. But it's if the person that is engaging with you in whatever type of having sex or whatever might not get it because the other person might not be programmed to have those symptoms through the biosensors, and so.
Well, unless they're having sex, then, you know, they can be, you know, inoculated.
Yeah, I mean, if the two people are inoculated in their head and says, okay, but let's say you have an unjabbed person having sex with a jabbed person, it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that,
That's not true. They've already proven that the mRNA passes the seminiferous tubules within the testes.
Yeah. I mean, if I don't want to be too graphic here, but yeah, if the person comes inside the girl, or let's say there's an exchange of blood.
Oh, I'm the gum.
Definitely.
Do not come.
Oh, I'm gonna come.
Do not come.
Okay, Republican.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking about this now, and it's so on its infancy stage of technology. Give it 20 years, and like your worst nightmares can be realized without even thought.
Oh, I'm gonna come.
I agree.
Today's Preservation of the Human Race has been brought to you by Pfizer. Be sure to vote Kennedy so we can help obliterate Pfizer and their evil, wicked deception and send all the nanoparticles back to Dr. Fauci's tuchus. Raboinoi shaloiloim.
I want to send at least half of them back to Bill Gates.
But it's actually, these people, they're just puppets, it's the DOD that mandated that stuff. So,
You know what they need to do? They just need to sit him down, sit him in a chair, tie him down, and give him every shot that he tried to administer to everybody in the planet.
No, unlimited power!
Yeah, I've been trying to
see what happens.
I've been trying to figure out how to fix the VA for a long time, so I came up with the idea.
No, I need him!
People that get free health care for being congresspeople for the rest of their life after being congresspeople, then, they have to get their health care at a VA clinic or a VA hospital. And let's see how soon it takes to get a new MRI machine in that log, or upgrade the air conditionings and do the level of care. Because if they got to go where veterans got to go, like the VA would, exponentially be a better place.
And don't forget all the doctors that got their educations in Cambodia and in the Philippines, and now they're making $400,000 a year working at the VA. It's basically a jobs program for all the employees, and the fucking veterans can go suck Dr. Fauci's gigantic Ashkenazic gefilte fish cock. Today's Preservation of the Human Race has been brought to you by Dr. Copeland's Fauci Vaccinology Office. We want to thank you for coming. If you are having a skin condition and you want to get on an Airlines flight and go straight to the Dead Sea, you can put on King David's magic mud and you can cure your Dr. Fauci vaccine-induced skin infections. This is Dr. Patel. I want to thank you for coming. And again, this Preservation of the Human Race is brought to you by Pfizer.
Oh my gosh. Stop.
Yo, I should introduce you to somebody.
It ain't a girl.
Nah, I gotta introduce him to this video guy. You should do that for a voiceover. For a video.
This is Dr. Patel with the National Institutes of Science and Technology, who brought to you the 3D video of the World Trade Centers collapsing. And we want to let you know we have a new update about World Trade Center 7 and the office fires and why the building collapsed in 6 seconds flat when no plane hit World Trade Center 7.
You should do a little stand-up session at 1 hour FK things or whatever, just for people who are open to it.
It would not be politically correct. I would get shouted down. It would be like a clown house room and they would kick me from the stage and put me in the goo.
No, I'm saying just his group of people.
They can't stand the truth. No one likes to hear the truth.
Your accent's breaking a little bit. But Doc, yeah, you're right on. on about that, and that's exactly how that should go. There's no way that Congress and all those bastards should be getting better health care than the men and women that serve the country. No, that's bullshit.
Yes, why should AOC and Maxine Waters and Nancy Pelosi get better health care than a Purple Heart recipient who can't even afford baby wipes?
They should not, my friend.
I can afford baby wipes.
Even though you can afford it, it's still not right.
Just because you can afford it, we know you don't use it.
Well, not the ones with the aloe, because that gives me squishy, but.
Can you stop throwing that flag up, Republican shit?
Why Marjorie Taylor Greene is paying me $10 an hour here to promote the Pfizer vaccine so we can all go to Dr. Fauci's beach house in the Hamptons this summer and throw a party with the CRT, BLM, LGBTQ contingency of the Democratic National Committee as we further censor and enslave you all.
Damn, and it's just Tuesday. He's getting started.
He's on one, yeah. Well, can you blame him? Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Hey,
What are you doing?
get that cheap labor, man. She got you at a half price. If you move to California, you can get at least $20 working for Gavin Newsom.
Right? And fucking McDonald's.
Did you hear about the new partnership between McDonald's and Pfizer? When you get the number 2 and you get 2 cheeseburgers with extra fry, you also get a free booster shot.
Yeah, that was so weird. Why were they actually paying people to get the vaccine? Like, come get your vaccine. We'll give you $100. Like, what the front door was that all about?
Why were there lotteries? Why did governors and mayors have lotteries where if you won the lottery, you and then you got the vaccine, you also won a large cash payment? Why did they have fucking vaccine lotteries? What in the motherfuck? Vaccine raffles and the doctors all got paid based on the total number of vaccinated. If you got 71 to 100, you got extra $28,000 wire transferred to your office. Oh my God, Rabbi Shalom Pfizer!
But if the fear was real, like if there was a true epidemic happening, people would be like running for a vaccine. But everybody's like, well, I mean, I've had friends that got it, and it was kind of like a cold for 3 days, and I had diarrhea for.
This is Dr. Copeland. Hey, Dr. Copeland talking. If you don't know the science and you ain't been injecting people for 30 fucking years with vaccines, I know the motherfucking science. Hey, this is Dr. Copeland talking. This is Dr. Copeland. Mute up. This is Dr. Copeland. I've been vaccinating for 30 fucking years. If you don't know the science of the vaccine, then shut your fucking mouth. Don't come in my doctor's office. But I will do everything in my power to help you if what you're saying about the vaccine is true.
Hey, Ray.
I mean, that was a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Well, that's because you ain't a doctor. I've been fucking vaccinating people for 25 years and you don't know the science. So don't come in here and tell me that you know the science when you don't have the background, the education, or the confidence to administer an experimental mRNA vaccine into someone's bloodstream.
You're very histrionic.
Man, mute this motherfucker and kick him to the goose. Censor his ass. I got work to do for Pfizer.
Yeah, let me get off the phone. I got this.
Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Copeland again. This preservation of the human race is brought to you by Pfizer.
Man, you're fine. Bro has personality, just DID maybe.
I think he's histrionic. He has some type of cluster B personality disorder, even though he's speaking the truth. But Republican is a little too much, you know.
Did you go to school and become a doctor? No. Are you licensed to practice medicine? No. Are you a motherfucking scientist and a researcher and a motherfucking investor in a non-profit corporation dedicated to fulfilling the destiny?
You were called. What was your name? Therapist? Yeah. You were jumping on stage saying. What were you saying before? Like a year ago?
I don't know. You must have been hypnotized because you got amnesia.
Yeah. Everything is what you were saying about hypnotism or something. Yeah.
I was saying all communication is hypnosis.
There you go. That is that. Yeah, okay. No, you're that guy. Okay.
All right, everybody who's new to the room, welcome back to Preservation of the Human Race. This is Dr. Copeland, and you bitch asses who don't know science and don't know shit about medicine, get your fucking vaccine, bitch. This is Dr. Copeland telling you that this Preservation of the Human Race is sponsored by Pfizer.
Anyone can come up, and I can't kick. I mean, Augusta's gotta wake up. The people that started the room, they gotta. I don't. They gotta take care of it. So I can't come up and prove his ass wrong. Raise your hand, Glock.
Who wants to come up?
I just invited you to speak.
Thank you. I mean, yeah, it's 5 mods. I ain't know y'all was asleep. So, a Republican.
You said we've got bad mods?
No, I said it's 5 of y'all. So she was like, I couldn't do it, but she brought me up. I heard her talking. I've been asking to come up, but I'm up now, so who cares?
You can't raise your hand, though. Do you know how to raise your hand?
I've been raising.
I did, but manually. All right, so don't talk to me.
But I'm up. No, I'm talking facts. That's why I'm up now, so thank you. It's a blessing to the room. Hey, fake doctor dude, what is mutated particle cells?
I don't know, brother. If you want to talk to my nurse in my office and schedule a consultation with my medical practice, you know, I'd be happy to give you my fucking secretary's number so you can schedule yourself a medical evaluation in my motherfucking medical practice. Until then, I'm sorry, you ain't no goddamn scientist and you ain't go no motherfucking medical school, bitch.
No, I'm a biochemist, so that's what I'm asking you, brother. So, cause I don't know if you're trolling and they're allowing you to troll on the stage. So again, what is mutated cell particles? What are that?
That's called the motherfucking Democratic Party, motherfucker.
It's a vaccine symptom. It's where when you take the vaccine, your particles and your DNA get...
Thank you, Augustus, who don't just sit here and... So, with that process being taken, does that alter the DNA or the genome pool at any given time?
Absolutely.
So why are you telling everyone to go get a vaccination that no one really researched and understands that all 3 of them, Moderna, Pfizer, the one you're promoting, and Johnson & Johnson, have mutated cells in it?
It's because he's LGBTQ+.
Yeah, CRT and BLM.
I'm not gay, I'm heterosexual, but if that's his preference, that's cool. But why is he promoting something that he's not even sure of? I think he's not even a doctor, a medical professional.
Look, allow me to help you out. At a very young age, not only did the doctors drop him, but he also been involved in a motorcycle accident, and he wasn't wearing a helmet. So he's just.
I mean, hey,
Man, Ludwig, you projecting, man. You projecting.
Okay, yeah, thank God you're alive, doctor. So again, I got 2 questions that I still didn't have you answer. It was just, who cares? Ask my servant and my nurse assistant. Can you answer? Because you was up there talking boldly and proud and forcing people verbally to go get something that I don't think they or you know the whole history and behind it.
Man, let me just interrupt you and let you all know that today's preservation of the human race is sponsored by Pfizer.
What is Pfizer? Can you break that down?
Pfizer is a distributor of an experimental vaccine that my office decided to vaccine about 15,000 patients so we could get that fucking president's bonus so we could go to the motherfucking Caribbean and Dominican Republic on a free fucking trip. Anyways, this is Dr. Copeland. All you sorry sons of bitches, fuck you all, and if you got a problem, go suck my fucking vaccinated dick, bitch.
Okay, so what's in the vaccination? What's the ingredients?
Fucking pure Democrat. Absolutely pure fucking Democrat sauce. Juice straight from Dr. Fauci's sweet cum.
Oh, okay. Well, y'all heard it here first. Go get Dr. Fauci's sweet cum up in your body and your DNA and your genetic pool. Yep.
Do not come. Do not come.
Yeah, I see what type of room this is. Y'all got all these people in the audience and y'all got this nigga up here just playing?
I mean, people love it.
Ooh,
It's just, we're serious all the time. And when all you do is read, like, documents and reports and do research, I mean, it's just, like, joking around. It doesn't mean, there's no ill intent.
Is people dying because of this, or have people been dying?
If you can't tell he's trolling, then I don't know what to tell you.
No, came up and said he's trolling because I'm a medical friend and I knew he was trolling, but I'm asking the mods now, and especially you. So nothing's too serious. But like I said,
you can't tell he's joking, then you need.
It's because we're a free speech platform. You can't kick people off the stage.
Who would take this guy serious?
Well, no, you can't kick people off the stage. It's a free speech platform. If you're asking me to censor somebody because you don't like what they're saying.
No. I didn't know, first of all, this was a free speech. I seen the title to the room. I thought it was medical COVID. So I was bringing professional expertise. And then I came in.
To preserve the human race, you can't censor people. That's what Elon Musk said.
No. I didn't tell you to censor no one. I'm saying I didn't know this was a free space or a free whatever you say. I seen the title to the room, so I ignorantly thought when I come in here, there's gonna be other medical professionals, people who probably took it, people who didn't take it, some opinions, some disagreements. Not a person playing and everybody just sitting here lollygagging and just quiet.
Well, typically, it is that type of stage. Typically, it is, and you're right. I mean, you've seen that title, and totally. Like, typically, it is that, and we're serious all the time. So we were just letting loose for a minute, but it is a serious stage and a truth, a truth platform. So whatever you want to share is definitely welcome. We were just messing around. That's all that was.
It's a whistleblower platform. So if you're here with the information, it's time to blow the whistle on, then you might as well, because you won't get a better opportunity than this. And that's the truth.
You're just joking around.
It's a whistleblower platform.
Blow the whistle.
Can't be serious all the time, 100% of the time, every day. Like, For people that do this every day in and out, it'll burn your brain cells. It'll kill your joy. Like you gotta just have some comic relief here and there. There's no harm in that.
No, it's right. It's true.
This is Dr. Fauci. I just want to let you all know to go get your 5th or 6th booster if you haven't already. Walgreens, Rite Aid, we've got great discounts, and your government-provided insurance packages will help you get all the vaccines you need for free. But don't forget to get the booster by the end of June. This is Dr. Fauci telling you that today's preservation of the human race is brought to you by Pfizer.
Yeah, that guy, he's one of the medical professionals, so we couldn't help himself.
Well, we've educated a group of millions of scientists who clearly know that injecting experimental mRNA vaccines that are not part of a world depopulation and control program, they're part of the system. So, we create people just in the same way we create products. And a lot of people aren't hip to be square because they don't know that we're trying to kill you.
People trying to put us on our job, I guess that's Esperanza Joshi.
Yo, so FEC just made the clear phrase presumptive nominee is not the FEC's debate regulation, and therefore CNN will violate federal law if they keep Robert F. Kennedy Jr. off the debate stage.
Well, this is an absolute shame. I mean, anyone who is anti-vaccine and has spread so much COVID-19 misinformation clearly should have no place in the political discourse of this free country.
I think it's amazing. So CNN is going to break the law?
I think they already did.
CNN would never break the law. CNN would never spread misinformation. CNN would never lie to the public. CNN would never censor or cover up stories on behalf of the Saudi Arabians or any other government that pays them to do that. No way. Impossible.
But aren't they all connected?
It just depends. Are you on your 3rd booster, 4th booster, 5th booster, 6th booster, 7th booster, 8th booster, 9th booster, or 10th booster?
0 booster.
Well, Killer Witch is vaccine injured, aren't you, Killer Witch?
What's up? Yeah, there's components in the jab that can make you spontaneously combust. And here in my city, we've had a lot of houses catching on fire. And they're supposedly blaming it on one arsonist. They arrested him. But the fires are still happening. People's houses are still exploding. I've also been
The fire rises.
diary. They have some type of Eye of Ra weapon in the sky that is following the trajectory of the sun, is taking energy from the sun, and they're using this to direct it also at people, possibly to make them explode or to set certain areas of different cities on fire. In my city, they are turning malls into apartment complexes. So you will never have to leave your apartment complex. They're also putting police stations in the apartment complexes. So you will have militarized police next door. So they're setting the suburbs on fire, and they're building new structures right next to these high-speed trains. In my city, at least. I don't know, well, maybe other places too. But, this whole spontaneous combustion thing, there's that.
The fire rises.
About the sun, no wonder they're called coronal mass ejections.
Dr. Fauci, Bill Gates, Joe Biden have come back to fulfill Ra's al Ghul's destiny.
hard time believing the whole coronavirus injections thing, but there's definitely something in the sky that is much bigger than the sun because it's in our orbit.
It is the ship of Ra. It ascends the heavens.
If you look at my profile picture, you can see the real sun on top of the disk satellite Eye of Ra record.
I don't know about the coronal mass ejection. I think it's real. I think solar flares are more frequent. And unfortunately, if you have conductive material in someone's body, you can induce a current in someone's body because of the flux of electrons shooting by the sun. Yeah.
Don't worry, everyone. If you haven't been vaccinated yet, just wait for a good rain and wait for the sun to come out and just collect the rainbow in your hands and inhale the rainbow, and you'll be fully vaccinated, fully boosted, and fully protected against COVID-19. Rabbi Shalom.
No, that shit will burn you because it's not the real sun. Even the sunflowers are turning away from it. That shit is the weapon. Something that they probably put it up the day of the eclipse. They put it in front of the sun, right, to make it look like an eclipse, and then they turned it on to bring the artificial sunlight. This is just a theory, hypothesis, but there's a lot of evidence out there. People are talking about it. And
I think that's a bit of a stretch. I mean, I think it's the frequency of the solar flares are increasing. Frequency is increasing, and it definitely has an impact on people's behavior and depending also on what they have inside of themselves. Because all of those things are conductive in nature. So graphene is conductive, even though it's not a metal, but it acts as one.
Ludwig is highly vaccinated, and Ludwig is also an LGBTQ.
You're confusing me with your biological dad.
Well, you're Muslim, right? Did the vaccine convert you to Islam? Inshallah, the Muslims were attacked with a bioweapon. This is Dr. Fauci. If you guys are new to the preservation of the human race, I just want to thank you all for coming here today and joining us as we discuss the COVID-19 shots and how they're making skin erupt and giving everyone skin cancer. So I want to thank you all for coming. And again, today's preservation of the human race is, of course, sponsored by Pfizer.
Well, I already learned my lesson from just one, alright? That shit gave me AIDS. I'm never putting another vaccine in my body ever again. I tell you, when you want AIDS, like, no, then don't fucking take another one.
And another one.
And another one.
This is Dr. Fauci again. I just want to say that DJ Khaled and I have come up with a new marketing campaign with Pfizer, of course, to help you get fully vaccinated and boosted for your summer season at the beach. Again, today's preservation of the human race is brought to you by Pfizer. And if you happen to get AIDS in the process of getting fully vaccinated against the COVID-19 virus, you know, these are some expected losses of our Department of Defense Research DARPA project. But Rabbi Shalom, we're confident that, you know, the long-term COVID isn't going to be a problem. So God bless you all, and thanks for listening and joining us today at the Preservation of the Human Race. Of course, today's preservation is brought to you by Pfizer.
Yeah, don't let the doctors beat around the bush for 2 years so that you can't file for compensation to the crap out of them.
We're expecting Dr. Copeland to come to the stage any minute. We recently put in a call to Dr. Copeland's office to help fully explain what you can do if you're having adverse effect on your skin because you're fully boosted, fully vaccinated.
usual tactic.
Well, for one thing, make sure you go to McDonald's and supersize all your meals. And if you haven't switched to American Spirits and you're still smoking Marlboro Lights, make sure you smoke to the better brand of all natural cigarettes as well.
Okay. I don't think that's gonna help. I don't know, they just freaking increased the rate of cancer dramatically by taking that thing. And then you're gonna go and smoke cigarettes. Like, that's it. It's a wrap. I'm thinking, like...
Well, never underestimate what the Slurpee machine at your local 7-Eleven can do, because Dr. Bill Gates has recently partnered with 7-Eleven to help put mRNA pills in all of the Slurpee machines. So if you're not vaccinated or boosted by now and you go to 7-Eleven, you get a Slurpee this summer because it's 90 degrees and your electricity doesn't work in your city, make sure you remember Dr. Fauci and Bill Gates, who helped you get fully boosted and fully vaccinated to protect you against this COVID-19 vaccine. The COVID-19 virus.
Are they really? Is this a joke? Are they really? It's in the book, yeah.
Thank you. Come again.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, everyone's vaccinated. I hate to break it to everyone. It's just that if you get injected with it, it affects you way more faster. But eating it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take 5 to 10 years for you to actually feel something or notice something's going wrong. But if you inject that shit into you, are literally playing Russian roulette. It could be within 50 days. It could be within that year. It could be the same day that something will go wrong. So most definitely, yes, they're putting it in all the damn food. And the air also. In my city, they're literally putting it in the air into the fucking fake cloud. Because that technology is magnetic, that graphene oxide. So they can use it to manipulate the wind, the air, even to direct energy.
This is the solar disc.
So when did they start doing this type of stuff? Was it always kind of like somehow, some way going on, or did it just kind of start getting like more ramped up?
It all happened in Roswell in 1948.
Well, the first biosensor created was in 1956. So. I guess for them to be able to scale it down to like a nanometer or something, it took them like, I think so they were available for purchase in 2010, but the nano ones, I think around 2012.
Let's not forget that Yum Brands Foods has also recently announced a new partnership with Pfizer, where if you want a taco or a burrito at Taco Bell, you're also going to get boosted in the process. So let's thank Dr. Bill Gates for providing the fake plant protein material that's been genetically modified so we can help protect you against COVID-19 and coronavirus. And don't forget, today's preservation of the human race is brought to you by Pfizer.
It's crackable back end. It is, they are, that's what Bill Gates, there's articles out there in the cattle. He wants to vaccinate the cattle and all the food supplies, so one way or another.
That's right. If we haven't gotten an mRNA inside of Uranus yet, we're going to come soon. We're going to put it in the center of Uranus.
That's where it goes for a lot of people. It gets stored in the anus and the testicles.
That's true. We've been trying to modify the cocktail so your ganglion and your testes isn't fully impacted by a very solidified amount of mRNA particles. It's only a matter of time till we perfect the cocktail. So we need you to go immediately to Walgreens or Rite Aid to get boosted or vaccinated today if you're not vaccinated. Again, today's preservation of the human race is sponsored by Pfizer.
The reason why it goes to the testes and the private parts is because they don't want people to reproduce. So when people get testicular cancer, they'll have to get their balls removed. And, it's not a coincidence that the graphene oxide goes right to the fucking testicle.
Oh, that's okay, Trans people today are milking their prostates in ways that really prevent a lot of prostate drip, and having your testes removed is just LGBTQ orthodoxy at this point.
Oh, but there's more. They're now offering a cancer vaccine because so many of the vaccinated are getting anus cancer. So much for milking the prostate that way.
Well, don't discount all these energy drinks. You know, the energy drinks are causing rectal cancers as well. So all these people drinking all these high energy caffeinated soda pops, they're causing themselves rectal cancer.
We're all fucked.
No, you're not fucked. You just need to get the latest booster. If you're not on your 10th cycle yet, COVID-19 could still be impacting you and you could still have long COVID. The newest Pfizer vaccine and booster helps modify the modification to help make your equilibrium inside your genetic strand better. So, all this other stuff is misinformation, lies, disinformation. They don't know the science.
Modify the modification. Oh my God. Is this a real phenomenon? Being affected in the testes and the anus, or is this? Yeah, it is. They're offering cancer vaccines to prevent it, but really it'll make it happen faster.
So again, everybody coming new to the room, Preservation Human Race, we want to thank you for coming. And we want to let you know that today's room has been sponsored by Pfizer. Without Pfizer, none of this would have been possible today. So thanks again, Pfizer, for sponsoring today's Preservation of the Human Race. If you haven't been vaccinated yet or boosted yet, and you're still worried about the COVID-19 coronavirus infection, be sure to go to Rite Aid today and ask them for your booster, your 10th booster, your 9th booster, or if you're not fully vaccinated yet, get your 2nd and 3rd vaccine before you get on the booster regimen. Thank you all for coming. Today's room has been sponsored by Pfizer.
Oh my God, I ain't going to care.
So please raise your hand if you've had an adverse vaccine reaction. Please raise your hand. We want to hear from you so we can put it inside the VAERS database so we can help modify the vaccine to make sure that all the manufacturers are creating the most perfect version of our experimentation. Thank you all very little, and if you die, don't call us, we'll call you.
I don't know where he comes up with this shit.
So I want to thank you all for coming. This is Dr. Fauci. Everybody new to the room, be sure to invite people to the room. Hit that plus button at the bottom. Add people to the room right now. And we're going to get to the bottom of why people's skin is busting wide open after they get their 10th booster shot.
Because their blood becomes so... my God, it wouldn't even be normal human blood anymore. That shit would be flammable, it would be combustible, be able to direct it to certain parts of the body. We can make it shoot out of the body. It's horrific.
With one of Senator Ramsey's legendary exchanges with Dr. Fauci. Let's go down over
My shot alone has killed 100 people and damaged over 2,000.
Killer Witch, I gotta interrupt you. This is Dr. Fauci. I want to bring you breaking congressional testimony.
Lane, you might remember this.
The point that you are making is that the grant that was funded as a sub-award from EcoHealth to Wuhan created SARS-CoV-2. That's where you are getting. Let me finish.
We don't know.
Well, wait a minute.
It didn't come from the lab, but all the evidence is pointing that it came from the lab, and there will be responsibility for those who funded the lab, including yourself.
I totally
This committee will allow the witness to respond.
I totally resent the lie that you are now propagating, Senator.
All right, here now with reaction, he is the author of Deception, the great COVID cover-up. That is Senator Rand Paul, great state of Kentucky. Now, in the early months of the pandemic, Senator Fauci expressed he wasn't convinced the COVID-19 virus was spread as a result of a lab link. Now, in the earliest months in January, aren't there emails that you've written about, talked about, that show just the opposite, that they were in a panic, that number one, they may have funded it, number two, they knew gain of function research took place and coronavirus research took place, and that they may have funded it?
Yeah, one of the very frightened emails he gets from an assistant in January of 2020 is an assistant saying, "Oh my goodness, this is gain of function research we funded." This is from his assistant. This is gain of function research that we funded, but I don't know how that could have happened because it never went before the safety committee. So yes, they knew very, very quickly, and they were worried about guilt. They were worried about culpability. They were worried that anybody's hands that touched the money, anybody who approved the money going to Wuhan, would ultimately get blamed. So Fauci actually organized a paper called Proximal Origins. He had 5 virologists write the paper. Most of them were well rewarded with large grants. Christian Anderson got a $9 million grant about a month after this. Meanwhile, all of these people were privately saying, "Oh my goodness, it looks like it was manipulated," but publicly they were saying it's a conspiracy theory. They went to Facebook, they suppressed it. They told Facebook, suppress the story of anything coming from the lab, it's all conspiracy theory. So in no way was Fauci ever objective. Fauci leaned in on this, he pressed hard, and he used his 40 years worth of accumulated power to try to suppress any story that this came from the lab.
And anybody that disagreed was labeled a conspiracy theorist. But how soon into the pandemic do you believe Dr. Fauci knew that in fact it was gain of function, it happened in the Wuhan lab, and it happened with American taxpayer dollars? What do the emails show you?
January 27th, there's emails starting at 6 o'clock. They're going across the ocean to Jeremy Farrar in England and back. They go on till 3 in the morning. At 3 in the morning, Anthony Fauci sends an email to the head of the safety committee. The head of the safety committee should have seen this research but never did. And he sends him an email saying, "Hey, nothing to see here. Here's a paper that says in all likelihood this came from animals, not from the lab."